Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, and you guys know what that means. When you hear that song, you can be sure that D&D is to follow, and that is in fact the case. Dungeons & Dragons is going to be to follow tonight, and I am looking forward to it. We are going to be playing with the GOG stream team, and in addition to that, we have a surprise for all of you. But before we get there, let me welcome everybody to the stream. I am your host, Arvin Elleron. This is the show Pen and Pixels, which I do here every Tuesday about story and narrative in games. This is episode 88 of Pen and Pixels, as we close ever closer to 100. And thanks so much, Outstar, for some Fallout right before me. And I'm looking forward to playing for you guys the next 3 hours of Dungeons and Dragons fun and good times and role-playing goodness. Before we get there, please remember the ways to support the stream. If you haven't done so already, please follow the channel. Please sub to the channel. You can get some awesome emotes. You saw me using a couple of them just before when the song was going on. So please make sure to do that. Sub income benefits all of the streamers here, which is lovely. Also, make sure to check out all the individual streamers because we all have individual channels and do individual stuff out there in the interwebs. So make sure to hang out there and check us out over there as well. We have Patreon, subsystems, etc. But tonight we have got some Dungeons & Dragons on tap as we continue Storm King's Thunder, and we have a surprise, which I'm going to set up in just a minute. But before we have that surprise, I am going to unmute myself in Zoom, and then I'm going to unmute the volume that is in Zoom, and then I am going to head over to find my column o' players right below me. The GOG stream team awaits. Before we do our little surprise, I want to make sure that they get a chance to introduce themselves first, and so I will start here with the inimitable Pyron Jade, who of course you guys all recognize. Hello, Pyron. How are you? How's life? Who are you playing? And all that kind of good stuff. And will you show us the mug that you are currently drinking from? Will you please show us the mug?
I asked Ebenezer to make me a tea, and he brought me tea in this wonderful Christmas mug.
Yes.
Because apparently that's
Christmas in August. That's
That's adorable.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
so. Hello everyone, and I'm back playing Rita Goldenfire, who is a dwarf and also a cleric, who follows the bright path of Pholtos, god of light, and I occasionally set things on fire. And last time I actually toppled a tower, which was pretty cool.
Yes.
If you want to know a little bit more about Greta, I actually wrote a thing on the Medium blog thing, which I'm going to post in chat in a moment, where you can read a bit. No, that's not it. Wait, I'm apparently not capable of posting a thing.
That's it, but in hexadecimal.
Yeah, it's just I'm going to post it in a moment, just don't worry, I'm going to pass it on to somebody else. Yay! Hello, I'm happy to be here.
Always a pleasure. And yes, you're going to get a chance to actually, I really do, I'm going to be reading it today after the stream tonight, and I'm looking forward to having her read it to all of you, because I think it will be awesome. But we will move on for now, and move on to our good friend Darksaber, who is right underneath, who is looking at his 7K monitor, self-aware, see all of the faces, all of our facial features, like every pore, every pimple is in, discernible detail.
It's looking very last gen. You need to upgrade your graphics on your faces.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Wow.
So we're working on that. Like 4K faces is clearly the next level.
Fired.
So how are you doing, Saber? What's up, man? How's life?
I'm doing good. Thank you very much. They say breaking in my new monitor. I haven't got a mug as nice as Pyron, but it does have gummy fruits on it as well.
Gummy fruits. Nice. It's a gummy fruit mug is what I'm talking
yes.
about. So who are you playing today and all that kind of good stuff?
I'll be slipping once more into the curly-haired feet of Selsig Mauer, Halfling's profit acquisition expert.
I like that you rebranded yourself in this way. You're going corporate is what's happening.
It's all about the image.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I do.
And also not being an idiot and remembering I've got an expertise skill I have not used once this entire campaign.
It's kind of funny. I was just like, you're like, something's come to me, something that someone taught me a long time ago.
How to not suck.
Yeah. It's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to seeing his Celsius use of this new behavior, this new activity. And moving right along to a person who is responsible for this surprise, if I can get it running. I really hope I can get this working. But we will see. I should be able to, I think. And that, of course, is our good friend Screaming Joypad, also known as Mike,
Hoorah! Hello, everyone. I'm doing wonderfully. Thank you very much for having me on the show once again, Greg. So today I'm playing as Ura-Ash, the half-orc barbarian follower of Tempest. Not Helm, like I said last time. Let's just ignore that bit. That bit's not canon. So have a bit of a surprise. Hopefully, I can get it running. If not, then I'll post a link in chat in a bit.
I got it.
So you can watch it after the stream.
You
got it running. Fantastic. Just stall them until
it's like stretch. No, I got it.
Give me time.
I got it. So maybe you can introduce this for us. Like, what is this surprise that you created for us then?
So I wanted to make something. So as everyone knows, I'm stepping back away from streaming very shortly to focus more on video production. So as I'm gonna say amateurish as this might seem, I wanted to make the story so far, because a lot of stuff will happen in the Dungeons & Dragons campaign, and it's really hard to keep up with stuff, keep up with names, places, events, that sort of thing. So I wanted to kind of give us everyone who's new to the channel, who's new to the story, something that they can go to and they can go, oh, I wonder what's happened previously. So it's about 8 minutes long. It gives you everything that's happened in the story and the actual party and everything, all the information you would want to bring you up to this point right now, and our motivations and the motivations of the quest. It should kind of bring everybody up to speed. Hopefully you enjoy it. I'll hand back over to yourself.
All right, let's do it. I'm going to I think I have this running, so I'm going to unmute it, start playing it. OBS behavior with videos is a little odd, but I think I think I have it working. I will leave the players unmuted in the event that they want to be like, oh, gasp at moments that happen. And this will describe all of the stories that happened actually from since Tribor. So this brings us up to speed. I think this video came out awesome and really, really well. So we'll see whether that is true. And all right, chat. Hope you enjoy. This will catch you up on what has happened. The story so far.
Celsig Mauer, Halfling's currency acquisition expert.
My name is Greta Goldenfire. I'm a cleric of Foltos. May his light shine on your way.
Urash of the Northern Realm, devout follower of Tempest.
After vanquishing the enraged spirit of St. Cuthbert in the otherwise peaceful town of Tribor and parting ways with previous companions, our three heroes journeyed to Nightstone upon hearing rumours of an attack. The praised heroes of Tribor arrived at the quiet town of Nightstone to discover that the town and surrounding area had been littered by massive boulders resembling siege weaponry ammunition. The townsfolk had fled, and now goblins overran the settlements. The party found and followed several sets of fleeing boot prints into the nearby hills, where they discovered a series of caves. These caves were guarded by two large ogres whom our party successfully defeated. Our heroes also captured and interrogated Gleek, a terrified goblin fighter who offered to help them in exchange for his life. The ensuing search revealed that the inhabitants of Nightstone ran into this cave for safety, but ran straight into the clutches of the goblin boss Hark. Before freeing the villagers, Hark captured our heroes and bargained for their release and the release of the villagers in exchange for gold. After freeing the townsfolk and returning to Nightstone, a band of hooded figures rode into the settlement, claiming to be with the Zentarim, the Black Network. The leaders of the band, Keller Darkhope and Zolkin Alassander, proclaim that the town of Nightstone is now under the protection and fortification of the Zentarim. Our heroes split up to find a way of ridding the town of this new threat. Celsig and Greta find their way back to the goblin caves and convince Hark to aid the town in return for the townsfolk feeding the goblins on a regular basis. Meanwhile, Ura aids the restoration of the town and attempts to appeal to the good nature of the hooded figures. Whilst this continues, a band of roaming orcs attack the weakened Nightstone. Ura, Zolkin, Keller, and the other brave townsfolk face the orc force head-on. Ura and the orc warchief face off, and at the critical moment, Ura is saved by his comrades Greta and Celsig alongside their newly formed goblin militia led by Gleek, the now goblin ambassador to Nightstone. The battle ended and Nightstone brought back from the brink once again when our heroes, still tending their wounds and gathering their senses, are witness to a giant floating stone tower descending upon the town wearing a giant wizard's hat. No, really. The three heroes boarded the tower and were introduced to the eccentric cloud giant wizard Zephyros. No, not that one, be quiet. The cloud giant had recognised that the need for the intervention of the little folk of Faerun in order to assist in the finding of King Hecaton, leader of all giant people. King Hecaton had gone missing many years previously, and the ordering the imposed peace within giant society had fractured along with it. The heroes are told of the King Hecaton, his queen Neri, and their daughters, Miran, Nim, and Sarissa. Our band of heroes agree to help with this quest, because otherwise it would be quite the short campaign, and are delivered back into Nightstone to gather their belongings before being taken to Bryn Shander to search for more clues pertaining to the missing giant King Hecaton. Upon leaving the tower, the group helpfully inform the Zentarim that this town is now under official protection of a cloud giant and they should leave and never return. Whilst flustered by this, Zolkin does not argue and leaves with his group. Informed that the sister of the sheriff of Bryn Shander fell during the initial attack on Nightstone, our heroes also promise to deliver the news to him once they arrive. Zephyros' tower flies through the sky and eventually arrives at the fabled breakfast nook. Here, Zephyros enjoys dining with the group in this seemingly idyllic setting. Once rested and refreshed, the group reboard the tower and continue on their way. The days pass and eventually Ura spots a dark shape from one of the tower windows. Several large vultures, each carrying a rider, descend onto the base of the tower. The riders, all dressed in armour reminiscent of giant crows themselves, proclaim to only speak with the master of the tower and propose to Zephyros. I said no! They proposed to Zephyros that in exchange for a pouch of magical pixie dust, that he would aid them in their quest to empower Yan Si Bin, the Prince of Evil Air. After careful deliberation and the counsel of the heroes in his company, Zephyros politely declines the offer and asks the riders to leave. They leave begrudgingly so, and once gone, Zephyros offers the pouch of pixie dust to Selsig for safekeeping. Days of travel reveals yet more threats as the tower approaches Bryn Shander. A large adult silver dragon approaches the tower and delivers several shield dwarves from the Lord's Alliance onto it. Whilst the dwarves attempt to halt the tower by destroying the magical orb powering it, the silver dragon petrifies Greta and Ura leaps from the 3rd floor into the action, seemingly forgetting that there are no stairs in Cloud Giant Wizard Towers and landing safely on the concrete 3 floors below. Once reformed, the party convince the dwarves that their quest is true and Zephyros can indeed be trusted. This is strengthened by Clarion, the silver dragon, speaking with Zephyros like an old friend. The dwarves warn the party that giant activity has increased and everyone, including Queen Dagnabet of Mithril Hall, from which they have their orders, is suspicious of Cloud Giant activity. They agree to let the group leave, and soon after, the tower arrives at Bryn Shander. Bryn Shander, one of the collection of settlements in the northern lands known as the 10 Towns. It is the largest of the settlements and is a stronghold built atop a giant hill. Zephyros' tower rests in a nearby clearing and our heroes approach the town. Upon reaching the normally open and welcome doors of Bryn Shander, they are accused of being giants' spies, for obvious hat-wearing reasons. Once they convince the guards that they are there to deliver a grave message to their sheriff, they are allowed through by Orgric Brighthelm, the deputy sheriff. They are disarmed and led by the sheriff through a city which has recently seen trauma, death and fire within its walls. Meeting the sheriff, Markham Southwell, and delivering the message gains the party his favour and trust for the time being. Whilst being met with initial suspicion by the elected first speaker Duvessa Shane, the conversation ends abruptly when large boulders begin raining down on the town. In the chaos that ensues, our heroes are given back their weapons and led by Orgric Brighthelm to the easternmost gate, where a booming voice is coming from.
Bring me Artis Simber, or I will reduce this town to dust.
The voice belongs to that of the female frost giant Drufi, who, with her several frost giants surrounding the walls of Bryn Shander and her personal winter wolf entourage, begin attacking the gates of the town. The heroes attempt to converse with Drufi but are ignored, and whilst laying down expertly trained arrows from the battlements, Selsig watches as Ura fights one-on-one with Drufi, and Greta places a glyph of warding on her shield and throws it at one of the nearby giants. Exploding in a burst of magical fire, the nearby battlement tower collapses onto one of the giants, killing it instantly. The sudden shift in the tide of battle draws out the townsfolk militia and the guardsmen alike to assist in driving off the giants. These creatures can be defeated. With the giants retreating, an injured and enraged Ura Ash follows Drufi. Being a devout follower of Tempest, there is nothing more insulting to him than an enemy running from a fight.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That is what I am talking about, people. So that I think that deserves some serious applause. That was Mike's work. Screaming Joypad. I was super happy with that. I thought that came out really well. And the Sephiroth thing, I was just laughing out loud twice. He's like, I said no. Dun, dun, dun. It's not the same one.
I don't know where that was coming from.
It's so funny.
It
Yeah,
is
I
just
don't
one of
I
those
can get
things.
the connection.
No, it's a very this campaign would be
Nah.
nothing without a ton of in jokes. To be honest with you.
Yeah. So it was pretty good. I liked it.
And
But
thank you for not bringing up the poo pit incident.
Yeah,
I'm glad you reminded me. Actually, I had to rewatch all of our old streams in order to just make sure that all my facts were correct.
Yeah.
And I completely omitted the you being thrown into a vat of poop. I might have to edit that in.
Good, because it never happened.
Yeah,
the
it's
official
not in the
history
video.
confirms
It's
that never
not
actually
canon.
happened.
Yeah.
It never really occurred. Yeah. But it's funny when you look back over it. I actually talked to. It may or may not be true that I talked to Screaming Joypad about the possibility of doing something like this for the other campaign that he is in with me. Maybe
Yeah.
I might have brought it up, which has been running for like 10
campaign has
times
been
as
going
long
for
as this. So it's
years.
gonna be like a 25-minute epic. But the thing is, it's funny when you actually get a chance to watch something like this, how intricate, the story gets and how much detail there is that's involved and how, so it was really neat. I thought it was great, and it gives people a chance to really kind of get a sense of where things are. I will not always play this, although I'm tempted, but I will not always play this because I don't want to lose the time each time. But I do think that we're going to have a link to it, and it's the kind of thing which every so often, would be updated. Like I could imagine something, 3-4 months from now or whatever, like updating the story so far, part 2 or whatever, to give people a sense.
It could just be a chronicle of the campaign.
Yeah, and it shows you sort of how extensive it is. So I thought it was neat. It was Mike volunteered to do this, and I was like, well, sure. And it came out great. So thank you, sir. That was very
Cool.
good. And I don't need to do
My
a
pleasure.
recap because you've all just had one. So yes, as we pick up the story of our adventurers. And I apologize for the initial sort of technical stuff. I had to. The reason I couldn't hear anything was because I didn't have it monitored in my OBS. So then I accidentally hit monitor plus output. So I guess there was some echo on your guys' side that I then had to was like, nope, don't output it.
It was fine.
So, but then it got fixed. So, so you guys are. Although I'm about to bring up this idea that Urash is charging. I'm not sure that I can do that when Urash is currently holding a cute furry kitten. I'm like, all right, so you're running after with a furry.
Yep. I'm raging after.
You're raging after with a huge
We need to get
furry.
Urash a cute little furry thing that he can care for in the game, in the
That'll
campaign.
do. Yep, I'll do with that. Like a winter wolf or something like that. I'll go with one of those.
Is this recap getting expanded and repeated every playtime? I guess.
like a bunny.
Actually, it would depend. Depending on how things went, since we have a tendency to go longer between sessions. I guess it's possible. It's the kind of thing that he could. I'll talk with Mike about it. I don't want him to do. He's going to have enough work. To do without adding
Never
extra
say
work.
never.
But we'll talk about it if it was. I hope it was useful to people in chat because I thought it was neat. There is a lot of DLC. That's true. There is a lot of DLC. But I now we're gonna pick up with you guys with Urash charging after Droofy and the other frost giants as they rumble away.
Cool. So I am in hot pursuit. I am beaten, battered, and bruised, and I think Droofy's not looking too well either. But I'm in pursuit of Droofy. Droofy specifically, like the other ones that are running away, I could care less about. But Droofy challenged me directly, so I'm running after her.
Okay.
I have a base movement speed of 40. I'm raging, which I think does something to my movement speed, though I can't quite remember because of my spirit animal. But yeah, I'm charging essentially. I don't know if I doubt she's gotten more than 40 feet away from me.
Okay, while I look up to see what happens, what are Greta and Celsig doing in the light of this?
I'm berating Greta. You blew us up!
Yeah, I kind of did. Whoa!
The plan was sound in theory, but did you have to blow up the tower while we were standing on it? I'm quite
Faldos
shaken
is
by this.
powerful. How many enemies do we still have? I mean, I think I just took out one frost giant with a tower. We took out one of the big wolf things. So there's the one from the frost giant from the war machine is left. Rufy is left.
There was
and
someone
nothing
on the
else?
tower with us who isn't in very good shape right now.
Yeah,
I
Elric
forget the name,
Brighthelm.
Well,
Elric Brighthelm.
Right, that's right, correct. That who's an ally on your side. The wolves are both dead. One of them you killed with a series of arrows. The other one you killed when you knocked over the tower that it was climbing up.
Okay, good.
And
Yeah, that was true. Yeah.
yeah. So you did that, and then as far as the giants are concerned, there is one frost giant that is running away, and then there is Droofy, who's the other one who is running away, pursued by Urash. So you basically have 2 frost giants. There are also presumably giants in other areas of the town that have also, you don't know whether they've abandoned their attack, whether they're continuing their attack or what, but it was coming from more than just this particular area. You may remember that they sounded this horn like type of thing, and then bolted. So you have no idea what that would mean. I'm looking for the speed situation. What is your spirit animal, your totem spirit?
I'm using bear as the base, but we decided it was going to be a mammoth because I'm from the north. But it's anything to do with the bear.
Okay, so I don't see anything about rage and speed then. Resistance to all damage. Except psychic damage.
Resistance to everything.
Yeah, it is literally you have resistance to all damage except psychic damage. So if they were to insult you, like, you're ugly, you're like, oh, I have no resistance.
Oh my god.
That's basically it. So yes.
Okay, cool. I don't really know why I read that or thought that, to be honest with you, but yeah, that's fine. I'm just sprinting after her.
Okay.
So if push, I could charge, and I think that's double my speed. Is it?
Yes, you can go double your speed. We're technically
we're not in battle,
initiative at the moment. No. And in fact, where's all my music? Hold on a second. Well, that can't happen. We need more than just windswept plains. Give me some music here. Where's we need some epic battle music, please.
I recommend the music for Monty.
Where's your boy McLeod?
Holy Grail.
My boy McLeod. Actually, no. This right here is my battle music on Reek, but I'm tempted, man. On Reek has been challenged by McLeod. McLeod is so much good stuff. There we go. All right, there's the battle music by Enrique. At least we got that going on, and we've got the windswept plains. Okay, good, lovely. That's awesome.
Oh, that was what I thought it was. It was my spirit animal at 6th level. I gained the might of the bear, which is my carrying capacity, and my lift, push, pull, and break checks.
Sounds right, but not necessarily the fleet-footed speed of the bear.
No.
Rushing across the top. Okay.
No.
All right. So that's what. So Celsig is berating Greta. Greta, other than feeling pleased with yourself for having brought down a tower and a giant and a wolf, what are you doing besides those things?
I will crawl over to Elric Brighthelm.
Okay.
And will use. I have a level 1 healing spell still left, so I'm going to put that on her.
Okay. Bears are pretty fast. I know that's true, but okay. So
not this bear.
So you were able to do that and bring her back to. She's sort of breathing. It's shallow breathing, and there's still blood covering her.
1 point.
But she is alive, albeit not by much. Meanwhile, Urash continues to.
It's a 4 because of my. It's 4 points of healing for her because of my magic modifier.
Okay, yeah. So she's definitely alive, although looks to you possibly still unconscious, but still living. But your companion is bolting away at top speed after the giant. The giant.
Come back here.
Yeah, she is also running away at fairly close speed. So right now you guys are fairly evenly matched. So she's bolting and you're bolting after her. At the rate of close to. Your speed is 40 feet, or when you're dashing, you're.
No, 40 feet normally.
40 feet normally, right? Okay.
Yep.
You'll be happy to know, or maybe not, that that's also her speed. So you guys are basically now about 80 feet away and getting farther away all the time.
Okay. Can I yell stuff at her?
Sure.
Okay.
You can yell stuff at her.
Stand and fight, coward!
Does not respond. Just keeps bolting away.
Okay.
Panting. Running down the sward as it were. And actually, I'll point you guys to where they're running. So this is on the eastern gate. So right now they're about here, and they're running quickly. I'll just give you the general, They're like running.
I think we should just start calling it the eastern hole in the wall after Greta.
Yeah, pretty much the eastern, the eastern gap.
The eastern impact, yeah.
The eastern way. They're just running.
There's here, Braxy, I like that. We need a way to get Urash into battle faster, seeing as he's not very fast. I propose getting Celsic a special item that lets him fire medium-sized creatures out of his sling, like some sort of inverted fastball special a la X-Men.
It's just like, Ura, quickly! Doing.
So you want Celsic to be slinging Urash into battle?
Yeah,
I just
that's
wanna be
it.
clear.
Like,
Yeah.
Urash carries
They
like a
never see it
deployable
coming.
catapult.
No,
he
they
like
would-
plants his feet, slams
I think they
sticks
would
into the
see
ground.
it coming, and I think that's part of the issue. Is they would definitely see it coming. They would see you coming quite a bit. All right, so here we go. Boo. So you like
Just like point at the halfling, and what's this? He's our siege weapon. Psh, what does he shoot? And the orc steps up like me.
I love this.
oh god.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the path of the giant, and then here is angry orc running right after. So there's the path. Now as they're running away, so you're just yelling like "Come back here," etc., etc.
Coward, Tempest forsakes you, that sort of
Yes,
thing.
exactly.
General insults about frost giants and their lineage and their parentage, that sort of stuff.
Why don't you man up, or in this case, female frost giant it up?
Why don't you fortify and face me?
Right?
Yeah.
Finish what you
45.
started. Finish what you started.
Let me explain what
Yep.
your people should be doing to each other, anatomically impossible
I'm not
things.
done
Right.
talking.
Exactly. So Greta
We
and
have not
Celsic, are you
finished
just
our
gonna shrug and be
conversation.
like, well, we'll let him go. It was nice having,
No.
nice having him in the
Should we
party.
Well,
help
it was
him?
it was nice having a tank while it lasted.
Yeah. He looks
We
like
always
he's
knew this
got
day
it.
would happen.
We've got little legs.
Greta's just like, but Ura, wait. And Chelsea's like, just let him run. Just let him
Just
run.
let him go.
Let him tire himself out.
After figuring that Elric is not dying, I'll just brush up a little bit of tower dust, stand up, sigh,
Back in a sec.
and say, yeah, at least it's not plate mail, and start jogging behind them.
Okay. What is your speed, Greta?
I don't know.
Let's find out.
What could my speed be? I don't have any speed. I didn't put anything in, so I
You
don't
have no
speed.
speed.
I'm sorry. No.
I'm pretty confident you have some speed.
Yeah, but I don't have it on my. Well, let's have a look. Maybe I have it somewhere else. Maybe I have it on the thing that you gave me. 25.
25. Okay.
He's gone.
Celsic, are you the same?
Face it. Let's
Celsic
just
is
face
the
it. He's just gone.
Okay, so this is those are those guys, and then here's the path. So they've all done this, and here's the path of Celsic and Greta.
I'm not even running. I want to make that clear.
So they're all.
I'm
You're not
I'm like,
even
you know,
running.
like one of those little ponies. I'm like.
So Celsic's not even running. So
I pulled an apple out of my pack.
yeah. So they are pretty much gone. So so they continue to run. Finally,
When I have tell me when I have a free line of line of sight.
oh, you have line of sight on the whole group of them. They are completely
Okay.
evident to you. Oh yeah.
One moment. Maybe I can just shoot something in their bag. Yeah. What is this? I haven't used no.
What is
I-
this?
I-
Ray of disintegration.
Gibbons has got a good point. Can I use my cape as
Ray
a
of
kite?
stop giant. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm
Ray of
just,
giant death.
Just to somehow realize I'm there. Did I use my guiding board last time? I think I did, right? I think I did.
I think so.
She's gonna try to shoot me
Yeah.
out of the fight.
I'm just gonna hit your aches. That's going to get your attention. How much far away are they?
Let's see. So probably by now we're talking about 100 feet, probably, and retreating rapidly.
Nah, I'm going to just jog then. I'm not gonna hit them.
Okay.
It's too far away. So I keep on jogging.
Okay. All right. So this continues for a good few feet, and this continues for a good few minutes, I should say, as they get farther and farther and farther away. Finally, Droofy, who seems to be not tiring but getting, keeps looking over a shoulder, does one of those things from X-Men. Why won't you die? Why won't you stop?
Come back here!
Yeah, exactly. And so Droofy, at the very last minute, stops dead and turns.
Yes.
Now we're going to see whether you recognize that she's stopping and turning in time. So,
Who, me? Or just slam straight into
you.
her?
I'm going to ask you to make see if you make a dexterity saving throw. See if you can stop.
Can I make it acrobatics or athletics?
I won't take athletics.
Or is it just Would you take acrobatics? I'm good at that.
I could theoretically. Well, yeah, but it's really a
Okay,
saving
you could.
throw. It's
Will
really a
you?
saving throw. It's really a saving throw, is what it is.
I was a frost giant until I took a half orc to the knee.
Okay, so you skid to a halt, and it's a good thing you did, because as she turns around, basically spins with her axe and brings it down. So you stop as the axe is like sting, 2 inches before you stop, and you're like, you hold up. She looks down at you.
That could have been terrible.
Yep. And she looks down at you and is is staring at you. So, you. Oh wait, I need my echo.
So, you think you're brave, do you, orc? We'll see how brave you are when put against us.
And takes her axe and prepares to fight. Initiative is not necessary here unless this fight takes a few rounds. If it takes 5 or 6 rounds, then I'm gonna bring in. At that point, I'm gonna assume that Greta will have shown up. So because she's still sort of over the hill in the distance. I'm coming. Right. Okay. So let's have this and then like Celsig casually walking like behind.
I'll just casually walk
slower.
up, stab her in the little toe, and kill her right at the end
Right.
of the fight.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
so
that
let's,
scene. Every time Celsig turns up, it's that scene out of Lord of the Rings, when they're outside Minas Tirith, and they just turn up and just butcher all of the important bad guy characters, just while the militia have just been trying their hardest. Like, Aragorn just turns up, just like, that's it, done, next.
/ finished, next one.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your attack then against Droopy.
Okay. 16.
16 is probably a hit. Hold on. I'm completely prepared, and in no way was I lose my place.
In no way is he rapidly flicking through books at the moment.
I did not in any way lose
Thinking,
my place.
the orc's not going to remember that he's chasing after a frost giant. There's
We would
no
never make
way
fun of
he's
our
gonna
DM.
Oh, man. Good times, good times.
Every group has a kill stealer.
I am a
that's a hit.
rogue. Thief is right there in
That's
my
a hit,
job
okay.
title.
It says kill stealer after all.
Okay, whilst raging, 16 points of damage on my
I'm in
first
character.
attack.
Ooh.
16 points of damage on your first attack,
Yeah.
you say?
Hey, look, Urash hit
Yes.
a thing.
Okay.
Let's set the thing on fire. He
impacted.
hit.
I can... Wait, I'm not getting confused. I am at the right level where I can attack twice, right? Yes, death level. Cool.
I believe so.
Second attack is a 22.
Hit.
Non-natural 20. Slashing 19.
Okay.
So 35 points of slashing damage.
Good grief.
Just because,
Just for the hell of it.
just for the hell of it.
Good
And
job.
with that, I'll kind of be like, you will finish what you started, giant.
And she says,
Oh, I didn't have my
worm."
voice.
And let's see. Then moves to the attack. 17.
That's a hit.
Okay. All right. That is, let's see. Okay. That is 22 damage.
Is that after the resistance?
No.
So I'm
11
resistant to
damage.
all
Right.
11 damage.
11
Okay,
damage
cool.
overall. What does that bring you down to?
3.
Oh, thought you were badly wounded, but I didn't want to mention.
Well, it's not. Yeah, badly wounded. I've inflicted more damage on myself before now, but there you go.
Exactly, Radowski. 719 damage. Pretty close. Okay.
You know, all this healing always prevents me from setting things on fire, which is kind of disappointing.
Okay. Second attack is a 24 to hit.
Oh yeah, that hits me. This isn't gonna go well.
Oh boy.
22 resistance, 11 damage.
11 damage. Yeah. Okay. So, I believe. Where's my skills? Barbarian. I've got something that helps me with this. I believe.
Yeah,
Does it not mean I don't? Yeah, I've only got 3 points of damage. I've only got 3 health left. Right.
So that'll bring you to -8, pending the barbarian raging awesome thing.
Yeah, I can't quite find it at the moment.
That's pretty much it, Azia.
I thought I had something that if I'm taken down to less than 1 health, I'm just taken down to 1 health. Am I thinking of someone else? Am I thinking of a different character? It sounds like the sort of thing that a barbarian would have, but I could be thinking of somebody else.
Yeah, let me see.
Clearly a barbarian, risking a one-shot death to chase someone and shout at them for not wanting to keep fighting.
Did you see, by the way, that you had fast movement, so that starting at 5th level, your speed increases by 10 feet when you're not wearing heavy armor?
Yes, so that's my 40 feet.
Oh, that's what got you to 40. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Danger Cuban. Danger sense, primal path.
Oh, maybe it's maybe it's a racial thing.
Might be
Let
a
me just have a
racial
quick look.
thing.
It does sound familiar, but I'm sure I saw it.
Apologies for this, everyone.
It's like 3 people just checking the rulebook quickly.
Yeah.
No, I don't see.
Traits, here we go. Relentless Endurance. When you are reduced to 0 hit points but not killed outright, you can drop to 1 hit point instead. You can't use this feature again until you finish a long rest.
Okay, that's under racial traits. Yeah.
Yes, it's under half orc. Page 41.
Okay, so you're reduced to 1 hit point. All
Yep.
right.
Which is good because I was only on 3.
Right. So she just like wabam devastates you. All right, you are up next. You're facing her and very hurt. Somewhere in the distance you hear.
I assume I can see that fighting's resumed.
Well, listen, you're in a windswept plain on the side of an otherwise empty hill, with a half-orc barbarian battling a frost giant. Pretty clear view, even from this distance, that something is going on.
Well, I was just saying that I'm actually making an effort to get there as quickly as I can.
So you've
now.
actually started to pick up the pace.
Well,
so
there's actual fighting, so.
So you have they have like the fight happening, and then you have Greta, and then Celsig behind her.
Can I wrap myself up in my cape and roll there quicker?
Cape. Yeah, cape.
The cape? You want the cape to take... Do you wish to roll down the hill?
Can I hold my cape up like this and get the wind to blow me faster?
Probably that would just increase your wind resistance. So I'm thinking, if anything, that's going to slow you down a little bit. You are not quite Batman.
Would you tell me when I'm within 60 feet,
yes.
please?
I will tell you that. It'll be a couple of rounds from now, just so you know. But yes. Okay.
I'm ponying on.
Okay, so I am going to use Reckless Attack. Now, I need to know, does this count just for my first attack or for both attacks? It just says when you... Oh, no, sorry. It specifically says when you make your first attack on your turn. So you can decide to attack recklessly. Doing so gives you advantage on melee weapon attack rolls using strength during this turn. But attack rolls against you have advantage until your next turn, which, in all honesty, I don't think is going to be an issue because this is my final moment.
Right. This is where you blow all.
This
the
is for the glory of
right?
Tempest.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it. Right. This is where I use most of my special moves.
Gotcha.
In
Okay,
case
cool.
that
So,
Tempest thing doesn't work out for you, I have an offer to make.
I can offer an alternative.
I have an
god.
alternative. Not happy with
My
your
god
god?
looks
Try
after
for
me.
someone new today. Okay.
Right. Okay. So roll.
Do you see the light at the end of the
advantage.
tunnel?
No, I'm about to.
How's my divinity? Call 1-800-Tempest.
Okay, so I'll take the 24.
Okay.
So that's my first attack. 19 points of damage.
Okay. Hurt.
Second attack.
Oof.
25. 12 points of damage.
All right, so grand total of 31 points of damage.
For Tempest!
If I
die in his name. Be fearless. Never turn from a fight.
Okay, so Droofy kind of staggers back. Definitely hurt. Not close to death yet. Definitely hurt, though. And she screams down at you. Oh, echo. You did need the echo.
I admire your bravery, half-orc. I don't, however, appreciate your stupidity. Keep that in mind as your body lies here broken and bleeding. What you face, all of the mortal races will face in time.
And then she brings down her axe again twice upon your personage.
At advantage as well.
Well, she'll take the critical hit.
Fuck.
And the second one is a 24. So critical hit for the first attack.
Yeah, okay,
24 for
yeah.
the second. So,
Yeah.
what is
We'll
your
bury you in a
total,
jar.
what is your total hit point amount?
57.
Okay. So
So how much was that?
I'm calculating it.
Remember, I'm on 1 at the moment, so you know, minus 1. Let's hope it's
the
not
question is
58.
whether it's half of the.
And
other.
oh no, I'm resistant as well.
I know
Don't
that.
forget that.
Yo, believe me.
Okay, cool.
You better be. And you should be happy about it. You take 50 points of damage from the 2 attacks. So resistance
Minus
means
49.
25.
I can't. Yeah.
25.
Resistance means 25.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Which means
so
you're
I'm
at
minus 24.
For the record,
Yeah.
that is almost close to death. And you sort of topple back, just blood spurting
Axe
everywhere,
clatters,
and
yeah.
lie motionless. Greta, you see this happening. You see him fall. Even from your distance, from the distance you're at, you can see a spray of red going up. Droofy throws her head back.
These mortal beasts know nothing.
And she brings her sword up high, and is like, or her axe, not her sword, her axe up high, and is ready to bring it down. And then there is this, in the distance, there's this, what sounds almost like a whistling sound on the breeze. Greta and Celsig, make perception checks for me. I was about to say Urash. I'm like, Urash is perceiving his own death. Urash.
Also, just for reference, how many feet would you say I am away?
100?
So we ran 40 feet for how many minutes?
Right, exactly. I mean, yeah, you're probably a couple 100 feet away, in fairness, Celsig, at this point.
Okay.
Okay, a 9.
I got a 9.
Okay, you don't see it. You do, though, Pyron.
Oh, dear.
You see a small, what looks like very on the horizon, but it gradually gets bigger and bigger, and then gets bigger much faster. And you see what looks very much like a floating wizard hat. And like comes in like almost like it's phasing out, and Droofy kind of throws her head back.
What the hell's is this?
And from above you hear there is this booming sound as the wizard tower, Zephyros' wizard tower, comes to hover over and says,
Stop your senseless attack. I speak, and I am Zephyros.
And then from the top of the tower, these 4 griffins come screaming down at the tower. The giant, by the way, now remember, this is only Droofy because her other giant is long gone. Like, he just kept running. So she sort of stares in kind of shock, and then starts wailing about her with her axe, chopping. The griffins fly at the face. Meanwhile, the tower is sort of sinking down, crackling with energy. There is just sort of lightning sort of zapping all over it, right? And the griffins are flying in, and Greta, you're still like, I've got to get there, like still sort of, running down, Celsig right at your heels. And finally you see there is this squawk, and you see one of the griffins get thrown God knows how far off after being hit by something. Often land on the ground in a heap. And then Droofy kind of staggers away, now, bleeding intensely. There's just blood everywhere, and she's sort of stumbling down the hill. If you were asking about being within 65 feet, I would say that you're now within that range, Greta, finally.
Within 60 feet.
60 feet, yes.
Okay, so I still see Groofy, yeah, but
You see
she's leaving.
Groofy, she is stumbling along. You see Zephyros' wizard tower now alit. It is on the ground. You see one of the griffins is lying motionless, and 3 others are attacking her and in pursuit.
But she's leaving our favorite half orc alone.
Yes, Urash is...
Oh, I'm your favorite half orc. Oh.
Yes, you are.
I'm probably the only half orc you know.
Also, Urash, I need you to make I do need you to make a death saving throw, please. Before she
Can you tell me how to do that again? Oh,
So-
no, death save. It's fine.
Correct.
There's a button for it.
Yep.
I can't remember what the result is though. Like,
That'll
what's to
look-
save
That
and
is one
what's not to
success.
save.
If you were to
Okay,
get a
cool.
20,
Thank you.
you would get 2 success. You would actually a 20 would mean that you would basically return to 0 and in fact to get a single hit point. If you
Nice.
critical fail,
Then
then
I
it counts
go
as
back
2
into the
failures.
fight.
If you ever get 3 failures, you are dead.
Okay.
And you're very close
Okay.
to dead anyway because of your hit point total.
Yes.
I need to-
That's minus 30, isn't it?
Do I need to
Right.
stop running to throw a spell?
Yes.
In that case, I don't throw a spell. I just keep on running to reach Urash.
Okay. All right. Celsig, you are right behind. Probably you're a good turn or round, I should say, behind Greta. So you can see some of these things as you're coming up on it, but this looks like quite a sight.
Would I be within 90 feet of Droofy yet?
I'd say no. You're
Okay.
probably another round away if you want to do that, although she's moving much slower than she was.
I'll try and close to within 90 feet of Droofy in preparation for when I can take an action then.
Okay. All right. On Droopy's turn, she is going to stumble. Okay. The Griffins get their attack. Miss. Hit. All right. So looks like 2 of them are able to hit with their beak and do a fair bit of damage. All right. So Droofy is like barely moving now, just like staggering forward. Breathing heavily. Good night, Anaski. Okay. So, Urash, I need you to make a second death saving throw, and then Greta will be up.
Okay. Wish me luck, everyone. Does inspiration count for death saving throws?
You could definitely roll.
You're
Oh,
good
it's
at it.
fine.
You're
It's fine.
You're good.
It's fine.
I'm okay. I'm
Okay,
okay.
so 2
Trying to
successes.
not die.
Okay, so Greta, you come across Urash, who it's not entirely clear to you. You've never seen anyone have this much punishment and still theoretically be alive. There are just blood, scratches, cuts, scrapes, missing limbs everywhere, pretty much.
You may have to convince people he's not an undead after this.
Right.
I can totally do that. So I take out my healer's kit and stabilize him.
Okay. All right. Okay, so you're able to stabilize him. All right. So he will not have to make death saving throws anymore. I do want to point out,
Yes.
if anything came back and does try to damage him, he can't take a lot of it. So, by
If
which I mean-
anything comes back to damage him, it will burn.
Okay.
It just burn.
All right.
Yes!
Celsig, I would say at this point you're probably about 95 feet away, 90 feet away. Of
Okay.
Droopy.
Yeah, so I'm gonna close to within 90 feet, and I think I will cast Sleep at her. Now, this will affect the Griffins as well, but I'm hoping she has the lowest current hit points, so that she'll be the first affected by it. So let's.
Wow, is that how it works? It goes on hit points?
Yeah, lowest current, starting with the lowest current hit points, and then ascending from there.
Oh, right.
5d8. So this is how many hit points worth of creatures this affects, up to 26 hit points. It will affect anyone within 20 feet of Droofy, starting with the person with the lowest current hit points. And they will fall asleep. Hopefully.
She does not fall asleep.
Damn.
She is not affected
But
by it at all.
all the griffins do.
Yeah.
but not all the griffins. How many hit points total? Did you say 26?
26.
Not
yes.
all the griffins, but one of the griffins does. So one of the griffins
Okay.
falls over and starts snoring. And you think that it might have actually been Beaky who fell over and is sleeping. So they are continuing, and then that leads us over to.
Well,
Let's
bollocks.
see. Leads us over to.
Next turn.
It's a good
next
shot.
turn.
He's going to continue to bleed out, and then the griffins, the two that are remaining.
We've got a griffin bleeding out.
Okay, the griffins come while Droofy was bleeding out.
Okay, that's
you
good.
may have
That's
more
okay.
than bleeding out with one of these griffins, as we'll talk about. Attack her. Droofy finally just sort of falls to her knees, swatting at her face. And then one of them, and you believe it might be Squawker, basically bites down with the wicked curve of its beak. You see blood spurting, and then Droofy, with a roar of defiant rage, just topples face over into the snow and lies still. And so as you look around, you see a heavily injured, barely breathing Urash. You see a few badly injured griffins, and one motionless griffin, Wingding, lies motionless in the snow.
Wingdings, no!
Okay, and this...
Or as Urash would say,
Right, exactly. That's exactly what he said. Exactly.
The spell could have gone worse. I could have made one of the griffins fall asleep and it landed on Urash.
Yes,
So-
that could have. No, I mean, that's definitely true. That's definitely.
yeah.
what could have happened.
I think the
Okay.
key lesson we're taking away from most of our encounters involving myself is it could have gone worse.
Okay, I jog over to the nearest hurt griffin to see if something is there that I can treat with a healing kit and some medicine skills maybe or medicine skills.
All right,
And
let's-
I get looting.
all right, let me.
Big pockets means
I
big
like the
loot.
fact you looked like you were going. Yeah, definitely. But I want to know what Droofy's got on her as well.
Yes.
I want that axe, basically. I want to know if I can wield that axe.
If the griffins are okay so far, I'll go over to Droofy.
So, I'm playing currently by Kevin MacLeod, Bathed in the Light.
I like the fact that it looked like you were going to
Wingding's,
play the song "Bad Ideas."
Wingding is motionless, and you are pretty confident that Wingding's neck is broken. You don't expect that Wingding is going to move again. The other three griffins are injured in various states, but it looks like they'll make it. But they kind of go over. They sort of Beaky noses at Wingding. Wingding doesn't
Don't
move.
nose it. You're making it worse.
It noses it again.
No.
And then sort of looks down, bows its proud neck. The griffin's wings all sort of droop.
I don't have anything left. I can't do anything. I just.
Okay. Hey, big boss.
We should
okay.
still have healing potions. I think I'm the only one who used one. We were all given one
No,
after.
I gave mine away. You
Ah.
remember?
I know I used
don't
mine on
have one.
Urash. Yeah, we got them before Urash joined us, if I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
rightly.
So Urash doesn't have one.
Damn.
No.
Don't you have that magic pixie dust thing?
I do, but do you really need to fly, be unconscious, or confused, or invisible?
Yeah,
That's all it can do. That's very useless.
It's got a random
yeah,
chance
and
of
it's
doing one.
a
of
random effect. Yeah.
them. I'm still planning to slip it into someone's food at some point.
Okay.
Oh, Wingdings.
Okay,
let's see. So here's so Wingding is not moving, and
Yeah.
out you see walking out of the tower, you see the normally smiling face of Zephyros, except that this time, of course, he is not smiling, and he looks down and says, "I had always anticipated this time might come. They were always braver than their strength would allow, even against giants." And he sort of reaches down and he strokes the head of Wingding and he says, "I had raised this one from the egg." And he kind of wipes away a tear. The other griffins all come up and kind of nuzzle underneath Zephyros. And then he looks back down at all of you and he says, "What of your companions? What of Urash? Will he survive?"
He will survive.
And he says, "This attack I saw from a distance but could not come in time. Perhaps my slow reactions are what doomed people to suffer. Will you be allowed back into Bryn Shander?"
Well, there's a hole in their wall, so we will see about that. And in the end, it was Drufi's stupidity that caused people to suffer.
And he nods and he says, "I understand. All must pay their price. Me as well as everyone else, I suppose. I think it would be best if I take him back to the Eyries where I found him. It seems like the best place. He should be buried in the sky, or as close as I can make it. Can all the rest of you make it back to the city on your own?"
I'll look at yeah, we can. Okay.
And he sort of he kind of looks at you like, "Really?" Like he sort of has his eyes open like, "Are you okay?" type of thing.
Urash might need a lift.
And he looks down and he says, "He does look grievously injured. Where would you like me to bring him?"
Well, back to Bryn Shander is our best guess here, I guess.
"Are you certain they will want the appearance of a giant's tower after what has just transpired?"
If
Maybe
we're
not.
with you, then I believe. I mean, we already had to explain how we arrived with you, so they know of you.
And
But let's first have a look at Drufi. I want to see if she's really dead, and maybe if she has some message or
Money.
plans or any kind.
Okay, now she does look. First of all, I'll say that I will say that she does look absolutely dead. There's no question about that. She has a few things that are notable. First of all, there is the large ivory horn that she was using, which looks, it's very sizable, first of all, but also looks to be worth a great deal of money. It is made of pure ivory, might even be made directly from a mammoth tusk or something like that, if you had to guess.
Salseg.
So there's that. Yeah, the horn, by the way, is the size of Selsig, at least. Like, the horn is the size, right?
Is it a similar thing and size to the whistle, quote unquote, that we got? Basically, it looks like a massive trumpet. Or does this just look like your stereotypical Viking horn?
I would say this is more like a stereotypical Viking horn, yeah. This doesn't seem to be
cool.
right.
The Celtic is just hiding.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was thinking about that. It's a pair of legs.
exactly, Medea. Urash lies near death.
Urash
Let's
lies
look at
near
the
death.
bodies. Exactly. Okay.
Well, I can't heal him.
This one's not got anything on it. Oh, sorry, Urash, that's your spleen. Oh, sorry. Put that back.
Okay.
Do you need this?
Also on
I know a guy.
Also on Drufi's helm are these set of what look like fairly expensive gemstones, which are set into her helm of different colors: red, green, blue. Now,
Jump for the retractable crowbar.
They'd need to be right. I was just going to say they need to be pried loose, but they're definitely there.
It's not honorable to loot the death.
How much is honor?
Have I
We will need to
stabilized, by the way?
Yes,
Yeah, you
I
were
stabilized
you were stabilized to begin with. Yeah.
Am I unconscious still, though?
You are unconscious
Yes.
unless someone
Okay.
takes action to keep you from being unconscious.
Wise Oak 88
I
has
could
just
kick you,
subscribed.
but that's all.
Hey.
Thank you, Wise
So-
Oak.
But there's nothing like maps or Mississippi or something like that.
Well, there are a few things. Yes. Let me. So there is a large And on the large bag... Wait. What did I just do? Okay.
I'm just juggling the gems from the helmet right now.
I was rolling something on a random table, and I rolled times 100, and it kept coming up with 100. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And then I realized that wasn't really... I wasn't doing what I thought it was doing. So never mind.
You were rolling your loaded dice.
Okay. So you find a few things in a very large bag that is being held here. The first is there is what looks like a bronze gong, like a sort of very plain, but it's more, and it's large, probably the size of a shield would be for the giant. But, well, I shouldn't say quite as big for a giant shield, but it would definitely be a shield for Urash, let's put it that way. And it is a bronze gong. You find that in a bag. You also find a cloak, which is what was worn by Droofy. It looks like kind of a large wool cloak, basically. Obviously larger than dwarven, halfling, or any other kind of size for sort of medium humans, but there's that. Let's see, the other two items you find are an iron cooking pot, which is there.
Never go into battle without your iron cooking pot.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that like a giant shot glass?
You're never allowed to roll roll a D100 again.
Yeah, your loot rolls suck.
Wait, I'm not done. The last thing you find is a beehive. Aren't you excited? In
not
fairness,
really. That's not on the loot.
I shout down
but
from the
surely.
There really
Like,
is.
I picked
There really
the
is a
right end.
beehive. It really is a beehive. But I leaving aside these somewhat more jokey random items, you'll be happy to know, which normally I wouldn't have told you. I just thought it was funny that this is being rolled on a D100. But there is something in there, which is a piece of parchment, and on the piece of parchment, which is rolled up. Actually, you have to unroll it if you want to read it. Do you want to? This is in the same bag. It was tied together with a piece
No, I just take everything. I think first priority is to get Urash back to town.
Okay.
But we can use that big cloak to actually maybe put him on him and drag him, because I don't think we can carry him.
That's true. You can
No.
definitely do that.
But we can use the gems to pay for treatment.
Yeah, of course, that's a good and honorable use for
wow,
them.
that's a very good idea. That's not what I expected you to do, to be honest.
It's a
with
good
you.
job the helmet had 2 valuable gems on it.
There are. That's cute. That's cute. That's cute. What happened to the other 13? No, I don't know what you mean. There were just 2.
No, I have no idea what you mean. There are only 2. Sadly, the crowbar just
So we
wasn't
d-
strong enough.
So you have those
There's
things
no
that I
proof.
mentioned along with
No,
that parchment.
no. I don't take the cooking pot and I don't take the beehive.
Okay.
I take the cloak and I take the paper. Didn't she have a weapon?
Does the beehive appear
She
to be
did. She had a
valuable
great
in any
axe.
way?
And by the way, when you find the desirer of the beehive, who is a named boss later in this adventure, you'll feel sorry for yourself. No, I'm just joking. Yes, she had a great axe. Was the
Yeah,
weapon.
I'm pretty sure
when
Urash
we
will
find
want to
out
have
Ekaton
that.
has been looking for that.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Urash will want to have that, so we'll try to drag that along as well.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a Sierra Dungeons and Dragons game. We are going to lose this quest in 3 years' time because of this beehive.
You can take the
This-
beehive if you want to.
Right, honey's good for anti-allergies. I mean, so much like mocking of the
Absolutely.
beehive. You know?
And wound cleaning as well.
Yeah, and wound cleaning.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know anyone who has some
Look,
wounds they need to have
if-
cleaned. As it were, I was
Nah,
like,
that-
Urash,
I'm
if you
fine.
keep,
I'm just covered in dirt and blood and other people's blood and dirt and dirty snow, and I'm fine.
I use create water. If he keeps on whining.
I'm unconscious. You're just imagining I'm saying this right now.
exactly.
So, we take the great axe, the paper, and the cloak, and Darksaber, Salsik is raises some funds for treatment for Urash. It's
I
like a
had
very
2
quick.
gems I found to Greta.
Super fast
very
GoFundMe campaign.
Yep, GoFundMe campaign. Droofy donates so, and then I try. Then
Jiffy
we'll try,
donates to the fund.
and then we try to drag Urash back to town.
Okay. So you begin to drag him back. It is a long and weary journey because you're dragging him up a hill. He is none too light under most circumstances, especially since you have some other things, including like various equipment and armor. You brought with you the iron, the helmet, I believe, the helm, and the ivory horn. So there's a lot of weight.
No, I think we
on this.
didn't take the helmet, only the gems from the helmet.
I just leave it the gems off the
Oh,
helmet.
you just pried the gems off. Okay, all right, I didn't realize that. Okay, so not the helmet, but the
Nope.
horn and Rush's body. But the two of you, working together, are able to pull your way back up the hill, all the way up to the gap. And by the time you get up there, you notice that there have been some people who have been gathered around this gap. The attack on Bryn Shander seems to have ceased because there are more people here who have actually arrived. You see Augrek Brighthelm, of course, who is the aforementioned deputy who's there, who is waiting for you. And you can see them all sort of gathered around, and you can see, oh my gosh, what was the name? It was Augrek Brighthelm, right?
Yeah, Ulrich Brighthelm, and then we also met the brother of Smile Southwall, who is Macron Southwall.
Right. Markham
And
Southwell, right? Yep.
And
Yeah.
Duvessa Chain, who's the town speaker.
Right. I was trying to think who was fighting him along next to you, whether it was Augrek or whether it was
It was Ulrich.
whether it was Duvessa. Augrek Brighthelm, whether it was her.
No, Duvessa. We last saw Duvessa in the first speaker's house as it was crushed.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
So we assumed they got away, but I think that was Duvessa and Markwell who were in that house because we didn't see Markwell after that.
Right, that's right. So the ones fighting next to you were Augrek, I believe.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Augrek, who had been badly injured, so Augrek is now sitting up and sort of looking about, and still looks pretty badly injured. There are a couple of healers that are gathered around her, and then soldiers behind. And as you come up, they sort of, kind of grab their weapons and look fiercely. And Augrek kind of holds up a weary hand and says,
Peace. Peace. We never would have been here in the first place to be able to wave our weapons at them if it wasn't for this group. How is he?
and she kind of nods at the lying on the big cloak Urash.
He's badly hurt. He needs help.
And she waves away one of the healers who's sort of fussing at her arm. Is like,
Get away from me. I'm fine. Worry about him.
and the healer comes over, kind of hesitating as she sees Urash's highly bloodied and very clearly orcish form, half orcish form, but bends down and begins to.
He's on our side, right?
Exactly. Begins to attend to the wounds, and then she sort of waves at you, waves at the others of you, Celsik and Greta, kind of half-heartedly to come over.
Okay.
Just out of interest, I have a quick question just to ask, logistically speaking, how far away is the fight from the town gate? How far away was the fight from the town gate?
The fight was your fight. It was
Yeah.
It was, I mean, it was a while, like 40, hundreds of feet away.
Okay.
Maybe 1,000.
So we're talking
or
it's
more.
a good trek.
It's a good trek,
basically.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I mean, you could get to it in less than an hour. It wouldn't be like a,
Yeah.
But yes. It
That's
is.
cool. That's cool.
Okay. So she, so you guys walk over to her, and she says,
I need to thank you for your help in repelling the assault on the town. I don't know how much longer we can hold out against this, but maybe at least in the short term, we'll be able to stop them. What was it she kept screaming? She was yelling at us for something. She wanted Artist Simber and somebody and something.
No, Archie Simber.
Artist Simber. He's like, well, what on earth
Archie
has Artist Simber got anything to do with this?
Why did she need an artist so bad?
And she
Archie. Archie. His first name is Archie.
Yeah, his name is Artus, Artus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
And Sephiroth, yeah?
Yeah. No, not that one either.
I said no.
I said no. I love the image of the Wizard Tower's head just peeking in, like, no, and like back off again.
Okay.
As he just kind of comes down and goes back up into the sky. Okay. So, she says, I know of only one whose name is Artist Simber, but I don't know what on earth would have anything to do with him.
Wait, he is here?
I've heard the name, yes.
We told Droofy the whole time he was not here.
because I don't give up people without knowing the reason for them being called for. And besides that, I don't even know whether he's still here anymore. I heard the name a couple of times, and I don't know any of the details.
We were lying. You
And
made us
You
lie.
could have prevented this whole thing.
By you would have me hand over a possibly innocent person just to satisfy the bloodlust of this giant?
He's nearly dead. You've got a collapsed tower. Was one person worth it?
And she
One
says,
person is always worth it.
well, that's it. And she nods and claps Greta on the shoulder. Greta has the right of it.
And if he
Perhaps someday
died?
you'll understand, friend Selsig.
I walk away.
Selsig's like, God damn it.
Leave the gems here for payment.
I gave them both to you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I start juggling the other three when she can't see.
I would not have given Archie Simber up, but I just don't like lying, even if it's to an opponent. It's not honorable. And I would have stopped talking to her if I knew that Archie Simber was in town. I would have stopped trying to convince her that it's a he, right? That he wasn't. So that's the problem I have there. So where's Archie Simber and what does he do?
I know only that he was supposedly found somewhere in the market district. He came in and I heard his name because his son came to me. And she sort of shakes her head and she says, I barely remember the conversation. I had other things on my mind, but it was something about his son's name is Sarek, Surak, something like that. And had said that he felt his father was in danger. I remembered it because he talked about his father and this name, Artis Simber, and something about a ring. I didn't have time to send any of my men to worry about it, but if you could track him down, you might find him somewhere in the market district. Perhaps he could give you more information. Now, the market district and let me actually get rid of this, let me get rid of some of these lines now. It's time to play How Many Extra Lines Did Arv Make in the last session? Answer, quite a few.
How many individual lines
How many
did
individual
you create?
lines, exactly. Okay, so the market district is basically right around here, sort of in the center of the town, more or less, is basically where the market district can be found. And so she says, if you're able to track him down, perhaps you can find more information about what had the frost giants so fired up. But before you go and do that, I might ask something else additional. I will do everything I can to see that you and your party is healed in body and spirit, but we have precious little extra to give nowadays, and I would ask if, based on what you've done here, if you could help us even further. It's clear to me that we cannot survive anymore simply on our own. Bryn Shander does not have the strength to survive all of it. If any of us still live, and we're still sorting through the wreckage to determine who that would be, we will need someone else to help defend us. Would you be willing to, perhaps, aid in getting us some allies? She's talking to you more or less, Greta, since Selsig is away and Orash is currently
Celtic's off sulking somewhere right now.
Orosh is not in this scene.
Orash is sort of not appearing in this scene.
I can't make any decisions on behalf of my companions, and we have our own quest to fulfill. So we would need to know what this actually means, helping you find some allies. And I also want to talk to this RT Simber first, so that we know what is going on here. So I won't make any decision now. Let's wait until Selsig is back from pouting and Urash is back from the death, and then we all sit down and talk. But first I want to see this RT Simber.
Very well. I cannot blame you for your words. They seem reasonable to me. And she says, also, you may want to you also may want to talk to the speaker as well. The speaker may have further information or requests for you, and perhaps she could give you more information about other details about the outside of the town that was not able to happen before. And again, the first speaker was Duvessa Shane. That was the person that you guys met with right before all hell broke loose.
Also, if a flying wizard's tower with a wizard's head on top arrives, that is our ally. He might even actually fit into this hole you have in your wall here.
And she says,
So, please don't freak out.
a wizard tower with tower with a wizard. A what?
It's a flying wizard's tower with a huge purple wizard head on top. Head.
She just stares at you and blinks.
Look, my life also used to be simpler, but this is how it is. And sometimes you just have to go with it and pray and follow the path that is given you. So if that happens, nobody freak out, nobody shoot at the tower. It's a grieving, very huge wizard who just lost one of his pets.
His
And-
pets?
Yeah, that he aided us in our fight against Drufi, the Frost Giant. The pet was a griffin.
He lost a griffin?
Yes, Drufi killed a griffin.
And she sort of nods. She says, "This is a great deal to take in.
Yes,
I will do
know.
what I can." And
Just
and she sort of shakes her. She nods her head in Selsig's direction, and she says, "Do you?" And she says, "Do you know how long it will take your friend there to get over what is bothering him?"
I think maybe about 10 minutes. We'll see.
I'm going to take 20 just to spite you.
Yeah. I'm going to take 11.
And she nods. "Very well. You are
So,
certainly
well-
welcome to take the service of my healers, and we will do what we can. We'll need to shore up these walls as best we can. And I would ask that although I, of course, understand your need to speak to Artis Simber, as soon as you can, if you could speak to us. Our defenses have been weakened by this latest series of attacks. No one more than this. If any of the giants decide to return, it will be an easy matter for them to destroy what's left."
Yeah, but honestly, if they do that today, there's not much we can do for you. And I give like a side look to Arash. We also need rest. We cannot provide miracles.
And she nods. She says, "I understand. Very well. My healers will accompany you back to one of the houses of healing. It's in the government district, not too far from where the speaker's house." And then she stops. She's like, "Well, where it was, anyway."
Aren't this first speaker and Macron alright?
"I don't know. I've been with you. The last I knew, the house was collapsing around them." And then there's a couple of the guards that kind of come up and whisper in her ear, and she says, "Ah, yes. Yes, I'm told that they at least survived the battle. In what condition, I cannot say."
Okay, let's regroup. And then I'll just follow the healers to wherever they take a rush.
Okay. Selsig, are you following along, pouting behind them?
Yeah, I'm just glaring at the townsfolk now.
Yeah. Yeah, the townsfolk, you certainly have, I think, justified anger is how I would describe it. But the townsfolk does not seem to be really, at the moment, in an apologetic mood. They seem to be in a grim mood, if anything. A combination of both grim and sort of fatalistic. As they walk by, there are many, of course, destroyed houses and streets that have been blocked off by debris. There's smoldering bits of fire here and there from the leftover attacks. You do see some bodies here and there in the streets. But otherwise, you are not welcomed as heroes, but you're certainly not, they're not even really noticing you at the moment until you arrive at the Houses of Healing, or the aforementioned House of Healing, which has the picture of a bed and then what looks like a sun rising over the bed on this sign that's in front of it. And you're brought in and brought over to a bed, and Urash is, and there's several people that were coming to sort of carry him, laid on a bed, and then one of the healers moves over and starts kind of fussing with his wounds and things like that, and then at one point looks over her shoulder and says, "Well, there's not much you can do for him here.
There's a room next door where your things can be found. That might be the best place for you to be able to recuperate. If any of you need any healing, please let us know. Other than that, we're spread rather thin, I'm afraid. We'll do the best that we can for your friend. He's made of fairly tough stuff. I think he'll probably make it as long as we're careful.
I once saw him take a 100-foot fall to the face and keep going. He'll pull through.
And she nods her head.
I have no doubt.
And you can't tell whether the I have no doubt is the I think he'll pull through or the he once took a 100-foot fall to the face. It's not totally clear. But she has no doubt of something. Whether something actually happened.
The sign outside, I didn't quite get it. Was it a bed or a bed?
No, it was a bed. A bed, as in, yes, like sleeping. Sleeping variety, yeah. A sun rising over a bed. I should have done that. Sun rising over a bat for extra weirdness. It's, the symbol, the universal symbol of healer. A bat and a sun. It's a vampire
I'm getting
house.
a weird vibe from this side.
It could have...
A bed.
What do I know? Maybe they follow some kind of strange god because I have not been enlightened yet. I don't know, so I'm just asking.
Exactly, yeah. No, it's a sun and a bed that it's on. And, okay, so you were brought to Celsig and Greta, your own room where there are two, certainly not luxurious, but serviceable, and it's a clean room, and two serviceable beds in it. You were also brought some simple food and water. The food here seems to consist of bread, if you kind of like a brown bread, if you know the sort of Irish brown bread, almost soda bread type of thing, and then a hunk of cheese. But it is not moldy. It's a little, maybe a little bit, stale, maybe, but it's certainly not moldy. It's edible for sure, and seems to be a good local organic type of cheese, perhaps.
I make cheese toast sandwiches.
Okay. I was gonna say you could just melt it, like make mini pizzas for everybody with the fire. I just assume.
I'm just like, it seems like an abuse of your power.
No, it only shows that Faltus provides.
Who are we to question the divine host?
Also at dinner time.
Exactly.
I wasn't aware cheese on toast was part of the Holy Order.
Faltus always provides in all kinds of situations, even if it's dinner time.
Exactly. That's funny.
He's always with us and there for us.
I just sort of pull out my pack of cards and I'm just sitting there shuffling it. Not really any reason, just, fidgeting.
Right.
Like the oldie fidget spinner.
Yeah, you guys have a chance to speak to each other. Urash is still sort of drifting in and out of consciousness after his grievous wounds, but Greta and Celsig, you have a chance to chat briefly if you want before deciding what you want to do next in terms of who you go to see.
So did we find any information?
I just need a short moment. I'll sit down for a short prayer, and then I talk to Celsig.
Okay. What's the nature of the prayer?
It's a thank you to Faltus for letting me arrive in time to save Urash.
Okay.
And for fortifying me in battle.
Okay.
Just a short one, and then I'm there for Celsig.
Okay.
And yeah. So yeah, we did. Apparently, there is an Artie Simber in this town, and I just feel like they could have told us that. They were not upfront. I don't like that.
They were quite happy to let us throw our lives away to protect him.
And they apparently expect us to do it again. That's how I was like, oh look, they're coming back with their nearly dead companion. What could they do for us now? It was not. I didn't like that.
No good deed goes unpunished.
Apparently not. But yeah, but at least they're taking good care of Urash now, and before I talk to the speaker, I mean, they're like, please go talk to the speaker, please go there. I think we should do our own thing and talk to Artie Simber first, and get that information first before we talk to the speaker.
They've withheld information already. We can't really trust what they tell us.
Yeah. So I'll just put like this big new great axe under Urash bed over there.
The axe fairy's been.
Maybe he lost a tooth.
Whenever he loses an arm, the axe fairy comes and leaves him an axe.
Better be careful,
under his pillow. When he was a little half orc, he's like, "Can I do this?" He's like, "No, don't look under the pillow or it won't come."
Every
Every
fight
time
he'll
you
get
lose a
himself
finger.
put in a coma, and then he'll be waking up going, "You execute!" Oh.
Every life-threatening coma injury means I get a new piece of equipment. I'll take it. You know.
I like that it's on. I like to think that it's on a velvet cushion, like the little coin is on a velvet cushion too. Like that's where the axe is also.
So I guess they will have like one of these military beds, which is kind of a glorified hammock on 4 sticks. And
It's a little better than that, but not a whole lot.
and so I'll just slide like the new great axe we've got from Droofy under that.
Okay.
In case he wakes up, he's going to be happy to see that. And would you please send us a runner if he wakes up? We're going to the Marcus district, and afterwards we're going to the house of the speaker.
And they
Or
nod
what's left of it.
and they say, "Indeed," and they sort of nod and bow their head. And return to attending Orash, who is breathing a little bit more easily now than he was at least an hour ago.
Yeah. So, Celtic, are you going to carry that big horn with you at all time now?
Yeah, Celsic is
I-
literally, you can like lean on the horn because it's like, right?
It's not practical, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
pretty
exactly.
darn cool.
I imagine him like, no, this is my horn. I take it
It's my
wherever I
sneaking horn.
want.
Yeah, stealthing with this horn is going to be somewhat difficult.
Coming to a Hideo Kojima game near you.
Yeah. You just put the horn on. You just thunk.
Yeah.
Coming to a Final Fantasy VII Cloud Sword near you. This is what's happening.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to ask
Just
Poe something
wielding
real
the horn.
quick. You picked up that parchment. Are you specifically not waiting to look at it, or?
I just totally forgot about.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
go back to.
I
Let's go
thought-
back to. That's when we're outside and have like a quiet corner, and
Mm-hmm.
then we're gonna look at it.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were saving that for a specific purpose.
No, sorry.
Oh, it's Medea in chat has just said it's this chapter's version of the chair, the horn.
Is it like the chair?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Strapped to your back.
Exactly.
I will take this chair.
Okay. Okay. So where were you here? Okay. So you guys depart and go to a close by corner, if I understand what you were planning on doing.
I will leave the horn behind in our room.
Okay. You're going to leave the horn behind, and then you then head out and you head out to this corner. Look inside, and as you when you look at the parchment and unroll it, there isn't a whole lot written on it, but there are 2 things that are written in crudely written common, so you guys are able to read it. And there are 2 things there. One is the name Artus, that's Artus, Cimber, Cimber, and the other are the words "The Ring of Winter."
Cimber. What was the other? Winter?
The
Ring of
Winter.
Okay.
Not Ring of Winger, which is what I've just written down.
The Ring of Winger, the terrible 80s band
Oh God.
that was slightly better than the band Rat from the 1980s. Round and round.
Okay.
Wow. It's
And-
not
and-
signed
and the-
by anyone by any chance.
Yeah,
the-
signed
the-
evil
No.
bad guy, P.O. Box. No, it does not say that. No.
Can I
Signed
recognize
antagonist.
what language the rest is written in?
It's all written in common. The whole business is written in common, so it's able to be read by you and many people who speak common language.
So what does the rest say?
No, that's all. It just all that you
Wait,
see
2
on it
words?
is
Like,
all
two
you
things
see
like-
are these words are Artus Cimber, and then right below it the words Ring of Winter. That's all you see on this
It's
parchment.
like a shopping list. Okay, well then.
Okay.
Let's
Well, at least
go
we
and
know what
find-
to ask him about now.
Yeah, let's have a look at Artus Cimber.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about this marketplace. So as you actually get to the marketplace, it is a roughly circular space in the center of town. Oh, and I should say, since we're a little bit past halfway, wow, this session went really fast so far. But you are watching the wonderful GOG stream team represented by Pyron Jade and Darksaber and Screaming Joypad. Playing D&D with GOG, we are playing Storm King's Thunder, and we have just seen the aftermath of the Frost Giant attack on Bryn Shander. And right now, the party is on its way trying to explore and find more details. If you like what you see in here, please make sure to follow this channel. Please sub to the GOG channel as well. You can support all of us here when you do that. And please check us out our individual channels as well. And thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us. Okay, so the marketplace is a roughly circular space in the center of the town. And there are a number of, as you arrive there are a number of tents and covered wagons that presumably are supposed to provide some shelter against the cold wind. Celsig, you've been in a number of marketplaces in your life, and you know the sort of general activity of these places, right? There is very little of that right now. Now, part of that, of course, is because it's not long after an attack. But you get the sense that it's been a while since this market has really been an active city market in the way that you would imagine. If you can even think about the market at Tribor, where you first met Urash, those are things that you would expect from a place like this. And this is much more, this town and this market area is much larger, obviously, than Tribor. And yet the whole place seems boarded up, shut down, not quite abandoned, but it all feels suppressed, as if there is some life of the city that is being kind of squeezed out while people sit around and hunker down and wait for the next attack from the giants or something else. So there are now only one or two open booths here and there that you can see in one place and the other, but most of the market seems to be completely shut down. And there is one heavily bundled figure that you kind of see sort of moving slowly, holding a hand to her back. Looks to be like a woman, who is occasionally leans on the stand and then moves from one stand to another one, most of these stands being closed. She has these boots on that are very large boots, and these very thick gloves that she's wearing as well. And so she's moving from place to place. That's the only thing that you see that's actually moving besides, as I said, there's a couple of open booths with merchants behind them, but they're just stationary. They're not going anywhere, obviously.
I just kind of elbow Celsig, look at that walking bundle with the big boots. Is that suspicious or is that suspicious?
I don't know what you mean. It looks perfectly normal. No, of course it looks suspicious. I tell you what, though, they're not wrong. This town is, if it isn't dead now, very, very nearly dead. Sorry, music suddenly stopped.
I'm switching the music. Sorry, go on. I'm just switching the music.
It might just be the giants, but this town has had problems for a long time for a market to be this quiet. Remember Tribor? That's what we should be seeing from a market of this size.
Yeah. We have two options now. I could walk over to the walking bundle and tell it to change its way. Or you could walk over... Yeah,
That's very presumptuous.
I could ask very, very nicely. Or you could get over and talk from colleague to colleague, and maybe the bundle will tell you where we find Archer's symbol.
Colleague to colleague.
You've tried this person in your mind. I don't like this. Very judgmental.
Obvious thief. Obvious thief.
They're not a very good thief. Any thief with their money would know that stands out a mile and would not look like that. They dress in fine clothes, not like me. They blend in a lot better, is what I'm trying to say. Moving on, I'm going to go talk to them now. Bye. Hurry up.
Good. That worked out well.
Okay. So, are you heading to? You're not heading to speak to this person, are you, Celsig or Greta, or one of the two of you, or neither?
I will. Do we actually know where Artist Symbol lives? I'm not sure if I called
You have
that.
no idea. And in fact,
Nope.
you don't even know that Augrek knew. Just that they had heard that it was, remember, the son that had supposedly come to speak to her and never told him where he lived or anything like that.
But they mentioned the market district, didn't they?
Yes, they did mention the market
Yeah,
district.
Well, I
we're
will.
doing well.
I'll engage them in conversation. I will. Can I maybe use Thieves' Cant to drop that into the conversation to see if they pick up on it?
Possibly. You could certainly do that.
I would like to attempt to do that as I'm talking to them. So it's excuse me, my fine person of undetermined gender.
So she, right, I was going to say, so do you come up behind an old woman? Man, sorry. So you come up to her. She's presuming that that's where you're going first, is this thing. And she's, again, talking to someone. And just as you arrive, she turns and shuffles away. Not because you came, just because she just happened to be moving away at that moment. So she has her back towards you as she shuffles towards another booth.
So yeah, I call her, excuse me. So I've caught out of sight that it's definitely a woman.
Yeah, she turns and you hear this voice, and she says, "Hey, who's talking now?"
I'm down here.
What? Oh. And she turns around. Oh, yes. Oh, it's one of the little people then. And you look down. Now her voice sounds very like, oh, how are you? Like, old, 50s, 60s. But that's not what her face reveals. In fact, she seems to be fairly young. She is a young woman. And you can see now that as you're close to her, these boots that she's wearing are much too large for her feet. She has these gloves that are too large and they're mismatched. You can see inside the cloak is what looks like sort of the ragged portion of a dress, perhaps. The cloak is presumably trying to shield her from the chill. This looks like a very young woman, but someone who's seen a number of days out of comfort, let's put it that way. She seems sort of haggard, maybe wrinkled before her time. And as she looks down at you, smiling with these sort of twinkling eyes, you wonder a little bit about her because her look belies sort of her sound. And she says, "And what may I do for you, my kind halfling?"
Me and my companion are trying to track down a person that we need to have a word with regarding the recent giant attacks, but we are new in
it's
town.
A terrible thing, that attack. I never thought we'd see the end of it. Do you think they've gone now?
We definitely killed one of them.
You did?
Very, very definitely. Well, it was mostly our friend, but he's come down with a heavy case of the splat.
Oh, but if you helped and killed them, well, you must be a great adventurer then. Are you one of those heroes I hear tell of? I love
we
heroes.
We are indeed. I just sort of just shoot a glance back at Greta, just glare at her judgmentalism.
And
yes.
You know what? I'll just keep a really close eye on that to see if this lady actually manages to like pickpocket him or something.
Okay.
Heroes, it's more of a hobby. Absolutely, Giblets.
I don't know how Thieves' Camp works precisely, but like I said, while we're trying to do this, I'm trying to drop. Well, I assume I can drop like a few keywords that would be recognized by anyone who's trained in it.
Right. So, and it might actually be even more like hand signals or like little sort of symbols.
Yeah. So I'll be sort of gesturing and making.
What are you specifically doing? Like, give me a couple of gestures that are. What meaning are you trying to convey with these words?
I'm trying to convey that I am. I have some knowledge of thieving, and I'm just trying to deduce if they do as well. Like, know, identifying myself without coming out saying, "Hello, I'm a thief."
Okay, so you
look at my horn.
So you drop it. That's true. Now, well, you don't have the horn with you, which is too bad because it'll make for some really funny, amusing moments. Okay, and all that. So yes, so you drop a couple of those things in. A couple times you make like this secret, T symbol or something, like you throw in a couple things like that subtly.
Yeah, I'm just sort of, idly just sort of, something like that.
She does not seem to be responding to any of these sort of secrets of your secret symbols. And after maybe the fourth one of these, she stops and she says, love, do all heroes have these, pardon me, I don't mean to be rude, but these nervous tics, Like, every so often you just sort of seem to go a little crazy and you make some weird sounds and things. You all right? Is this what heroes do?
I was blown up today.
Oh. You survived it really well. Heroes must do amazing things. Was it just you or was it anyone else? And are you from around here? You can't be. Heroes don't come from Bryn Shander. You must have come from a long way off, eh? Did you ride on a horse? Or maybe a magical beast, like, what do they call those?
a hippogriffin, griffragon, right? Or maybe a dragaville bird thing.
A hippogriffin, like a cross between a hippopotamus and a griffin. Oh, that is awesome!
And so she's sort of like,
Yes!
so she kind of smiles and she says,
Hippogriffin.
So tell me everything. I've never met a real hero.
Well, we flew here on
You
a
flew?
magic tower. Yes.
Yo, heroes can fly too. Is there no end to the glories that a hero can create? Amazing.
Especially
See
found
my
the
buddy.
village crazy lady.
Our buddy that's rested up right now. Don't tell anyone, but he farts fire.
What? He does? That's spectacular. Can I do it when he's flying? Is that what makes him fly? He just does that and he lifts off, eh? Just right from the ground?
I've been trying to encourage him to experiment with that, but thus far he's proving a little stubborn.
Oh, it's so
He's a bit
exciting.
shy
and she
about
claps
it.
her hands almost like a little girl. It's so exciting.
Oh, you must tell me everything. Well, here. Come on to my home then. Come on.
And she sort of waves at you, and she kind of puts
Bye,
her arm
Celsius.
around you, and like,
I
come with me.
pulled?
And she's sort of like a force. She's like a force of nature. She just grabs you, almost like sort of forcibly. It almost seems, and takes you with her.
I sort of look around the crowd like, help!
Right.
What did you do?
I honestly did not see that coming.
Greta, are you going to follow, or are you going to stay where you are?
I'm going to stay.
Evil!
You're just like,
You
no.
got me into this!
He's leaving with a woman, going home. I mean, coffee was not mentioned yet, but I will leave them to it. It's just
I'm trying to say, I'd love to chat, but we and my friend are on a very important mission right now for the good of the
Oh,
town.
tell me all about the important mission. I know some important things too. I could maybe give you some of those.
Can I?
I mean,
maybe
this is
try
all
to
while
use-
she's still like inexorably leading you away. By the way, she
Yeah.
doesn't stop while this happens.
I try and untangle myself from her. Say, I've got my friend over there. I can't just abandon her.
Oh, well,
She
bring
gets
her
very
too.
scared.
And she says, "Hello, dearie," and she waves at you. Greta's like,
I'm not
Come
like
with
that.
me. Look, everyone, it's another hero. There's two of them
Yeah.
now.
And she would like nothing better than to tell you about her god who has been protecting us on this entire journey.
Oh, gods. I'd love to hear about more gods who are protecting us. Do they fly and shoot stuff out of their arse too?
She worships, I forget who it is. I think it's a giant bunny. I say it very, very loudly so that Greta can overhear.
so she's like frantically gesticulating at you. Now, there's really very few people, as I said, in the market area. Certainly no shoppers, just a couple of open booths. So, but this is
Heresy
like
does
echoing
not
across the
suit
market
you.
land.
I walk over with one of those, yeah, this is one of the reasons I don't have kids looks and follow them.
And she looks down and she's like,
Oh, a halfling and a dwarf. So wonderful to meet you, miss. I've always wanted to meet a hero dwarf, and now I've got one of them and a hero halfling. I just invited your friend here to come back to the house with me, and we can chat about things. I've always wanted to hear rumors and things from the outside, especially from heroes.
We will talk. Lead us to your house.
Oh, I'm so excited.
and she sort of bustles off with you. Now, meanwhile, Urash, you wander through a half-alive, half-dead state of halfway between waking and pain, taking the
I'm
worst
assuming it's
parts
going to
of
be
both.
filled with great battles.
It's really more filled with tedium. If you've ever had the experience of being laid up in a sickbed, and I have, for a number of days, the experience after a while is mostly just, I'm frightened and bored. In your case, it's not so much frightened, it's more just bored. And at
So
a
I'm
certain
conscious
point,
now.
You are in a half state between them. You kind of drift into
Okay,
consciousness.
so I'm
out again.
aware. I'm aware of my surroundings, but I'm not like
Correct.
lucid.
But there are stages where you remember something of the rage and the anger that you felt. There are certain stages where you remember aspects of chasing down the frost giant. You remember something about explosions. You remember some of the challenges that you faced, the orc chief that you faced outside of Nightstone, the battle that you had against, of course, Drufi herself. And these things sort of stick with you. You even remember a arm wrestling match that you had against, a certain paladin. And his sword a long time ago. And so you do all these things, and you have these sort of visions, and finally you're like, ugh, and you kind of half blink and then fully wake up, and you find that you are lying in a room on some kind of a bed, staring up at a ceiling. You hear the sound of what sounds like maybe like a low hum of a harp or strings of some kind in the background, and there seems to be a heavy smell of flowers in the air, maybe incense. And you seem to be in a room where there's a number of beds sort of lined up next to each other. You're one of the only occupied ones, though, as you look up. There's no sign of Celsig or Greta.
Okay, I'm still like super woozy at this point, I'm guessing.
Yes, I think that would be fair to say. But you are conscious, though.
Yeah, like the only thing I'd really initially, like instinctively, I'd want to try and move and find Celsig and Greta to make sure they're okay. So like, if you imagine like a half unconscious, catatonic, half-orc barbarian who's still stitched and glued together, just sort of going, oh, Celsig, Greta.
And
that's basically it.
So as you say this, someone bustles over to your side, and as you kind of look up, you see that it's someone who has a white tunic on, usually the sign, the tunic of healing, and bending over you and says, "Shh, now you need to be quiet now and rest. Your friends aren't here at the moment. They'll be back soon enough. In the meantime, you need to give your body a chance to heal. You've had quite a few blows laid upon it over the last couple of days."
What happened? Are my friends okay?
They're both fine. They left. They said they had to find some information, and they have left you at present, I think. And you sort of lean over. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, do they motion to something?
She sort of points to below your bed. So if you want, you can sort of lean down below.
I'll try and look as best I can whilst like holding
everything
myself
hurts
together.
While I do this. Let me just say, while you do this, everything hurts.
I can't imagine how much this would be painful, but I'll glance down, and I'm assuming I then see the frost giant's axe.
That's correct. You see it lying there, and it looks pretty awesome. You have to say.
Okay. I don't say anything, but internally, I'm just thinking to myself, okay, we won then. That's the only reason we'd have this. We were successful. So I'm there's no kind of chaos noises around me.
No.
I'm aware that Celsig and Greta are okay. We obviously defeated the frost giant. I'm all right. I'm just going to lay back and relax for a bit.
Okay.
I'm going to heal until I can move, even if it's a bit uncomfortable because I've got something I need to do. But as soon as I am able to move, even if it's not painful but still uncomfortable, I need to get up and do stuff. So let me know how long passes before I can start doing that.
Okay, we'll do. Yeah, no, 8 hours of sleep and all your injuries are gone. Not exactly, sorry.
Not quite.
Not quite.
No.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Mechanically speaking, what's my hit point situation like at the minute?
Your hit point total at the moment is about 10.
Is about 10. Okay, cool.
You
That's
have,
significantly
not
better
about.
than it was.
Let's be clear. Just I won't be coy. You have 10 hit points right now.
Yeah, 10. Yeah. And do I need to keep my death save successes logged?
No,
or
you're
is
good.
that,
No, you're out of danger
okay,
there
cool.
now.
Thank you.
You've been moved into out of critical care into intensive care. You're in the ICU.
Yeah, I'm now in Faerunian ICU.
Rehabilitation. Yeah, exactly. Very nice.
Yeah, cool. I'm good. Right. Carry
on. Okay. Meanwhile, Greta and Celsig have been led to the home of this person. Now, the home of this person is actually she leads you into an alleyway, and her home really consists of kind of what looks like a lean-to of a piece of wood that has been propped up with a couple of long poles, and then there's basically that's it. There's a lot of like what looks like maybe piles of cloth or maybe cloaks or something like that, which are piled up in different portions underneath this fairly sizable, but still, that's what it is a lean-to. There are no sides to this lean-to or anything else, and obviously no chairs or anything. They're just several piles of clothes. And as she walks in, kind of bent over, cackling, she says, "Right, dearies, here you go. Right of there and there," and she points to the different piles of clothes. Presumably that's where you're expected to sit. And she says, "All the comforts of home, eh?" And she kind of cackles. "Ha! That's what I always like to say. So, tell me everything." And she turns around, her eyes shining, and she says, "So, tell me what it's like to be heroes. Where did you come from, and what happened? Are you gonna keep the giants from attacking again? I assume you will, because that's what heroes do, but I don't know. I've never met any before."
I just have a big
First
smile
of all-
and I stare at Greta.
We're not heroes. We're just people trying to do the right thing.
But
And
no, he said you were
we-
heroes.
Yeah, he said that. And so
Cold.
and
Oh, did it just get a bit more chilly in here, or do I need to get more cloak?
and generally it's very, very exhausting, and we're really, really busy because we are trying to actually prevent more giant attacks, and for that we need to find Artus Cimber.
Oh, Artus Cimber, you say?
And
He has a son, and the son, or maybe even Artus Cimber himself, should be around here at the market district.
And he thinks a little bit about it, and she beg your pardon. She thinks a little bit about it.
It's
and
Artus Cimber.
she's like, "Oh yeah," and she rips off her mask. No, she thinks about it a little bit, and she says,
Artus Cimber, eh?
Yes.
I don't know about an Artus Cimber exactly, but I know one place that if they don't know, no one's gonna know. There aren't many inns really working right now in Bryn Shanter, nor many taverns. Most people are just keeping to themselves, back in their homes, see? But there's one exception to it.
and she points out of the alleyway.
Out there, in the northernmost side, you'll find the Honest Thief. Now, the Honest Thief is one of the best taverns you'll find anywhere. And it's the only place that's still got people who don't necessarily want to be found, if you know what I mean. If he's not there, there's people that'll be there that'll know where he is. This Arthur Comber of yours. Or Arter Combo.
Something
Combo
like
Arter.
that.
Artie
Artie something,
Moreno,
yeah.
whoever his name is.
Artie Morty.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
She says, that's where you ought to go. But wait, explain to me, though. So, if you're not heroes, then how exactly did you save the town from the giants?
We had a friend who nearly gave his life to save your town because he actually attacked the giants with his axes. He ran after them and drove them off.
Okay,
He shouted so loud that the giants ran in fear.
Yeah, if you could carry on portraying that legend, that would be fantastic.
So let's see now. So far, Urash can fart fire and has shouted so loud that giants
I
ran
could
away.
scare giants with my voice. Just carry on with this. This is gonna.
Okay.
I'm just gonna feel like I'm in a dream when I wake
I'll
up.
just be the party's PR person.
Right.
Tired.
I give Salsic a look, like a look.
I just sort of shrugged, like, what?
And she says,
Well,
You
you
make my
dear.
life really, really difficult.
Oh, my dear, are you one of those two?
I already know this type here. And she sort of smiles at Selsig and winks. She's like,
He likes to make himself a little bigger than he is, eh? A little more impressive. I mean, nothing against it. We all do the same thing. But he highlights his advantages, you might say. You, on
No,
the other
no.
hand, she says, her eyes narrowing a little bit, you want to talk your troubles down. You want to talk about the things you're good at down, too. You're more sort of not wanting to get anyone's notice, let's say. So the two of you together, you make a perfect team. You want to undersell everything, he wants to oversell everything. And that just leaves the third of you, and the third one must be the true hero. Who is he, eh? Is he a giant? Is he even smaller? Is he a gnome? Is he a pixie? What kind of person is he?
A good one.
Well, I'm sure he's a good person, dear. He's probably a hero, but what manner of good person?
If he feels like it, we're going to introduce him to you.
He's a champion arm wrestler.
He's a champion arm wrestler. He must be a large fellow then, eh?
Oh,
yes. Is he 6'5" and 225 pounds of solid muscle?
How big
We've
is
got a
Rush?
few like that, I see him sometimes in the fighting rings. Haha, I like to see him when people don't notice. There's one the other day. His name was Barner, and Barner was one of the largest men I've ever seen. He had a left hook that could... Well, anyway, you don't want to hear about me going on about Barner.
We need to
No,
go to the honest...
where's this fighting arena?
No, can we just...
Well, you say, and she
We've
starts
got
going
a
off
fighter.
into a conversation with Selsig. Go ahead, Greta.
Thank you very much for your help, and I take Selsig by his cape and try to drag him out. We
Just as I'm
really
like,
need to leave now.
Watch the fighting ring. I'll be sure to bring him over.
All right. Oh, it's so sad that you have to go, but I understand. You
Wait,
don't
Thank you
always
so
have
much
more
for your
time.
help. May photos light your way. We need to be off.
All right, dearie. I'll see you around again. If you ever need any information or you want to tell more stories, just look for Beldora. That's me.
I flicker a gold as we're leaving. Thank you very much for your hospitality.
And she grabs it. Oh, a full gold! Well, you really are a hero, sir. Thank you. Thank you. It should feed me for a week. And she sort of, looks like she's going to go run and hug you. And she nods
right.
furiously at you. All right, dearies. Be well. Have fun looking for Arthur Treacher. And she kind of waves her hand at you.
Very well. See you around town.
Okay. So you guys make your way out of the lean-to. So.
And I just turned to Greta like, someone like me, eh?
Yeah. Why would she exactly want to know how our currently incapacitated friend looks like? Let's get moving.
Okay. So where are you guys headed?
Well, to the honest thief.
To the honest thief, yes.
To the honest thief. All right. So you guys are going to head to the...
Sounds like my sort of place.
You guys are going to head to the Honest Thief, a tavern which has never ever been named in anyone else's story. For example, a certain novel that perhaps someone wrote once, maybe. It's the...
Nah.
Are you dropping your creative works into the story again?
Who, me?
I never read that.
Me, with
I never,
my reputation.
Okay.
I never read that novel.
Well, listen, it's I know, and that wounds me every day.
No one's
I do
perfect.
what I can to avoid the wound. All right.
Let's hope you don't need to make a death save anytime
Yeah,
soon,
I was just going to say,
Byron.
you fail all of them immediately. What? Why? I don't know.
I even sent him my order slip. He knows.
Yeah. So you guys make your way through the streets, and if her name was indeed Beldora, she wasn't lying. There are a couple of taverns that you pass along the way, but they are all shuttered and closed. But there's one that has the picture of what looks like, it's very faded, but it looks like it might have the picture of the face of like a jester or a harlequin or something, with a big smile on his face and a big thumbs up, like on the sign. And that's in one hand, and then the other hand he's holding a bag of something, maybe a bag of coins.
I sketch a little salute at the sign, just like, looks
Right,
like my
and it
sort
sort
of
of
place.
rocks, the sign rocks back and forth outside of the door, and you can hear the sound of talking and, things happening within.
What's what's my situation like at the moment? am I
I'm
doing?
not getting back to you quite
How-
yet, so hang in there.
Okay,
I will
cool,
come back to
cool,
you in a second.
That's
So
cool.
I look at the sign. I don't know if the sign really means anything, but just in case, would you be so kind, Salsig, and lead the way through this situation? Maybe you'll feel more at home here than I do.
Possibly.
Pause one
So
second,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
I
Dinner's like, do you know what you want? Okay. Sorry about that. I'm arranging
We'll see.
dinner plans with my wife. Okay.
I'd like a pizza.
You would like a pizza. I am actually going to get
extra pineapple.
I had pineapple on pizza earlier. Pineapple with barbecue sauce.
And
Nice.
bacon, I presume.
Oh.
No, I'm a vegetarian.
Do you know what goes really nice on pizza? I only found this out last year. Black pudding.
black pudding.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Actual pudding.
It's congealed blood
It's-
essentially.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
also have
basically.
that. It's very tasty. I like that.
Yeah, I had that once when I went to Ireland and they were giving me blood sausage, and I'm like, oh, and then I was like, no, this is actual blood. I'm like,
Yeah. See, like it's
For
actually
the
made, but it's not a
longest
name.
time- Yeah, for the longest time I wouldn't touch it because of that, but it's actually really tasty.
Yeah, but yeah. So
okay, good. Sorry, just had to send that to her. Wonderful. Okay, so you guys are going to make your way in.
I'll just pull Greta over and say, now, it might just be a fanciful name, but in case, keep a very close eye on your possessions.
Okay.
Oh.
Why do I
can
need?
I do
Alright,
that?
Yeah, watch out for anybody getting too pally with you, patting you on the back. And as I'm saying that, I want to try and pickpocket something just to present it to her and go, like so.
Don't,
Can I
please
actually roll
don't.
to see if I can just pickpocket some minor item off her?
I don't want to have to set you on fire.
It's a demonstration.
Yeah, it would be a very short one. I would also demonstrate many, many things on you.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. Lovely. I found what I needed. Okay. So, you guys enter, and let's get a little, let's get ourselves some...
Why would you have to set me on fire? I'm giving it you back.
Alright, there we go. Let's change up the music here as well.
Nick, holy symbol. I'm not that suicidal. That would be literally declaring a holy war, I think.
Looking for this.
Where's she gone now?
Okay.
Oh, ow, 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 ow.
Oh my god.
In some parallel universe, exactly that has just happened in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ura loves his new tribe of companions. He treats Selsig with equal parts mystery and suspicion, and treats Greta with equal parts adoration and fear.
Okay, let's see. Let's go with...
Yeah, Sharon's right. I'll save that until after I get my evasion skill at level 6. No, it's a level 8, I think. Oh, evasion's well cool. What was it? Oh, 7th level, but yeah. Any area of effect, including things like Dragon Breath, any area of effect spells, will only ever do a maximum of half damage. They'll either do no damage or half damage.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, good. There we go.
Okay, that will make setting you on fire a bit more difficult, but I'm going to work on it.
Not impossible, though.
Greta's like, challenge accepted! Well, in theory, you could do like that high-risk maneuver of actually putting a spell down on my head and hoping hoping it misses me.
Okay.
I could put it on one of your gems with a trigger.
When he goes to spend this gem, and then you just walk away, just pleased with yourself.
Okay.
It's like this is the prank that you'll just keep on giving. In about 3 weeks' time, he's going to take the gem out and just explode.
Okay, so you guys walk into this inn, and the tavern is, as you can sort of tell from the music and everything else, is definitely hopping. People are, and it's a little bit odd because the sound is the sort of the tone of the place is much different from what you see outside of it. If you had just walked into this directly, you would have expected, you're like, oh yeah, it's just a standard, happing inn tavern with everyone being really happy. But because of the contrast with the sort of bleakness of the outside, it strikes you as even more unusual and odd. But you see lots and lots of people gathered at various places, clustered around tables, and you see a very large person, rather a bit more big boned, let's put it that way, who is behind the bar and is polishing up a metal mug and gives you a big grin and waves at you to come over as you enter.
Could I maybe have a look around, maybe use my perception and see if does this just seem to be an inn, or does it seem more den of thievesy?
Go ahead and make an insight check for me.
Insight, damn. Okay.
Can I also try to guess? Just
Sure.
Sure.
15.
Okay. Let's see what Greta gets.
One moment. It's loading. I click on.
That feeling when the DM always goes to, now let's make it this roll. It's like, that's one of my worst modifiers.
I just looked for it specifically. What's the worst roll?
Yeah.
Googled what do thieves hate in D&D.
Exactly. Greta, you're just like, this looks like a tavern with a lot of people drinking, and there's some dancing in the corner and stuff like
Nothing
that.
suspicious here.
Yeah, nothing to see here. Selsig, you don't get the sense that there's anything, how do I put this, sort of below the surface that seems sketchy, but you definitely feel like there's a lot of different types here, different parts of society, let's put it that way, that could be found in a place like this. This is as much noise as there's been, other than the fighting part of it, obviously, since you've entered Bryn Shander. And so, if there is kind of a beating heart of this city, you think you might have walked right into it.
Okay. I'll go up to the bar, and I'm going to order a pint of ale. Barkeep!
Aye! It's a pleasure. Always a pleasure to welcome in some people who are here. I hope you weren't caught in all that outside, were you?
Oh, we definitely were.
Oh, really? So
yes.
you survived it?
Just about. One of our friends is still resting up.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear it. Is he gonna make it, you think?
He was stable when we left him. There's not much else for it at the moment, so we thought we were recommended this place. Thought we'd come and have a drink, just relax for a little while.
Ah, good man.
How's
good
business?
Man. Oh, business is never better. Or all the stuff that goes on out there. In here, we try to provide people the same thing: a good mug of ale, a good leg of turkey, and some good conversation to go along with it. Not much else you can ask for in life, eh? Hey! And everyone's like,
I'll drink to that.
Like nearby, he sort of raises a mug, everyone drinks. So he says, right, so what'll it be? We've got a few for you. There's hog spit, and he points to one of the barrels behind the bar. And then, of course, we got goblin piss, and he kind of looks at that and kind of points in that general direction. And we've got, and he stops for a minute, and literally, this is true, this music that you've been hearing has been going, and he said, and we've got, hold on, I gotta make sure I got it right. The Tears of an Angel. And suddenly the music stops. And everyone stops. And they all sort of look over. And they all kind of nod. Like they're just sort of like, Tears of an Angel. And then as if nothing has happened, they go back to, the music starts to play, and they go back to what they're doing. He's like, so, any of those three are possible, my friend. Choose wisely.
I'll have a Tears of an Angel. My friend will have the goblin piss.
He says, all right. Now, Greta, are you along with him when this is happening, or like?
Yeah, I'm like 5 feet behind him or something.
I'm determined to make Greta regret every single time she lets me do the talking.
And I'll graciously accept the goblin piss.
Okay.
Because I'm tougher than the little wussy halfling.
Okay. So he pours, first of all, the goblin piss down, and it's he puts it into this wooden mug, first of all, and he puts down and he says, now, make sure you drink it kind of quickly before it has a chance to burn your throat. And everyone's like, hey! He's like, it's got a kick.
My friend likes burning.
It's got a kick like a hobgoblin, but it's worth it, eh? And then for you, he says, and as for you, it's time for the tears of an angel. And again, everything stops, and he pours just a little bit of, he takes it and gently from a silver vase pours just like a small little amount into this like little shot glass, and then he puts a little a paper umbrella, on the top of it, and then he puts, there's like little glitter, you think, on the outside of the glass maybe, and then he lifts it up and with two hands like pushes it across. He says, there you go, sir, enjoy it. And everyone sort of like waits watching you.
So I
Well
toast
then.
the pub and I knock it back.
Okay, now what is the goblin piss drinker doing in this?
I'm
place?
waiting for test your constitution at this point.
Yeah, I want to see what Greta does.
I down it in one slurp.
Okay, so when you down yours, Greta, it sort of is like water. Maybe there was alcohol in there at some point, but it's not really clear how much of it was there. This Tears of an Angel thing, though, when you drink it, Celsig, I do need you to make a Constitution check. This thing has got a kick like a mule. You're just like, whoa!
Yeah.
Like the afterburn is like no one's joke. So you like stagger and like, and so the bar erupts in laughter. Like he's like, that's what I'm talking about. He claps you in the back. You're like, and he's just like, that Tears of an Angel. No one ever knew that they also were crying tears of a clown. Am I right? Am I? And he kind of, claps you on the back and laughs, and everyone sort of chuckles with him. He says, I like you, friend, and you can hold your wine, although you can hold your beer, although there's not a whole lot to hold when it comes to goblin piss. But anyway, it's a pleasure to have you on board. That'll be 1 copper for the goblin piss, and that'll be 3 gold for the mug for the thing of Angel's Tears. Now,
Okay.
3 gold for Tears of an Angel is an outrageous price for this drink, but you are still sort of like trying to get air back into your lungs. After the,
You're just like, I'll pay anything, just don't give me another one.
yeah, you're just trying to like woo, gathering.
Tempted to have another just to prove it.
I pay my copper.
Okay, so you pay your copper, and he's like, let me know, there's more where that came from, lass. He's like, now, what brings you to our fair town, other than to get attacked by giants and to have a contest of alcohol?
That is a very, very long story, but right now we are looking for somebody called Artus Simber. He or his son is supposed to live near or in the market district. Have you heard of them?
Artus Simber, eh?
Hmm?
And he sort of kind of narrows his eyes. He's like, I don't think I've heard of an Artus Simber, but I have heard of a Sirac Simber. Maybe that's the one you're looking for. Young chap,
Sirac.
brown hair, kind of a, well, he's got a lot of freckles and, well, he's all right. I haven't given him anything to drink, of course. I have standards, And he points up this thing that says, if you were born before this date in 1155 AD, we will not serve you, or 1155, year of the dragon, we will not serve you any beer. And he says, very important not to serve any underage. But he's been in here a few times. Last time was a couple of days ago. He was looking for someone, I think, to help his dad. He was asking me questions. Not that I really had much time for it. I'm too busy handling all of these people.
What kind of help was he looking for?
Oh, I don't know. He was saying something about his dad being in trouble. But I don't know the details. I didn't have time for it. I told him to go talk to the speaker. She's the one whose job it is to figure it all out.
Did he seem willing to go to the speaker?
Well, I don't know. He was looking for anyone who could help, I think. Maybe he could have gone and found Markham instead. He's the one who's responsible for handling some of these things. Maybe you could have done with some legal help instead of what you'll get here. At the Honest Thief, we're more of a place where laws are guidelines, you might say.
You just see like Ritter like twitching slightly, holding on.
morality is kind of a thing that it's sort of in the ballpark, you know? As long as you get somewhat close when you cut the orc's head off, long as you're in the ballpark, it doesn't matter as long as he's dead, right? That's how we approach morality here at The Honest Thief. For the most part, we don't steal. If there's a few coins that happen to sneak into one of our pouches, well, no one's to harm, no one's to say, eh? I can tell you agree with me, miss. And he points down at you, Greta, and he's like, how about some more goblin piss?
Jess is like, why do people tell me these things? And
Can I have a quick check to make sure no one's trying to rob us at this very moment?
You could, if you want, you want to try to see if there's some, you could try to make a perception check if you want to see if anything's happening. Sure.
16.
Before we get into philosophical discussions, as important they may be, do you have an idea where we can find this Sirac Simber?
Well, first of all, the 16, when you look around Celsic, you don't notice anyone paying any particular attention to you. There's an occasional sort of like looking at you because you're just a person that's around, but there's no like focus that you can tell necessarily. This is also a very crowded room. So if someone, I mean, it would not be easy to make it out of here fast, but at the same time, it would be hard to get an organized force in here to try to take you down. There's just too many people in here right now. This is way above fire code. Let's put it this way, right? You could say. When you ask, he says, well, I don't rightly know, but I know that he's been seen around these parts quite a bit. And he says, my guess would be, if you were to send someone out, right? If you two were just to go out right now and go up and look around the inn, probably in the alleys nearby, well, assuming he's still looking for someone to help him, you'd find him. He kind of stood out like a sore thumb, you know? Most of us here, well, you can kind of know what you're getting with us, and you kind of look around and see the clientele in this place. You think you get an idea of what he means. They're not, this is not the elites of society, let's say. He says, but this lad seemed, I don't know, nervous all the time and kind of different, like he'd been raised for different things, you know what I mean? So, I think you could probably find him just by wandering around a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. And he says, remember, you'll always have a place here at The Honest Thief.
I appreciate that,
And he says,
in a way.
if you ever need help, just come talk to me. My name is, well, they call me the Minister. And he kind of laughs a little bit. And you hear sort of someone calling for the Minister, and he says, right, I'll be on his way. And so the Minister kind of, sort of bustles about behind the bar, and he says, well, good luck to y'all. And he looks back and he says, and may helm be with you always. And then he wanders off.
Must be with you, friend.
Okay, I walk towards the door.
All right.
I go and leave as well. He was nice.
Did he
Did
just
you
tell
like
us
him?
Did he just tell us that they mugged the little Sirac Simber and left him in one of the side alleys?
They said he was wandering around looking for help.
And we would find him in one of the side alleys?
Probably find him in one of the side alleys.
Yeah, probably. Let's go and have a look.
Okay, so let's transition across to the House of Healing, and let's get rid of our really awesome in music, but let's try to let's put ourselves in a different spot here.
I mean, they could be having a right old time. Like you transition over, and suddenly I'm having a drinking contest with the healers.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's possible. Okay, Arash. So let's jump forward here about maybe an hour or so. You said that you want to be able to, you have a couple things that you want to do. I would say that you're now probably healed. Again, you don't have a lot of hit points. This is only an hour, but let's say you have maybe 12 hit points at this point. You're going to need a full long rest of a day or two to really recover completely. In fact, arguably, you should be in bed for a few days to be able to really try to feel strong and healthy and hardy. You were very near death. That said, though, you're certainly capable of being mobile if you need to be.
Okay, can I ask someone to? I'm going to leave Celsic and Greta to do what they need to do. They've got stuff that they need to do, and they're safe. They're okay. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Can I ask for a runner or someone to either grab someone to escort me somewhere from Augric Brighthelm or Markham Southwell? I need to go somewhere, and I don't really feel up to going there alone.
Okay. So the healers ask you basically where you want to go, because the healers are none too excited about the idea of you leaving the place right now. They're kind of like, wait, what?
Okay.
You need to stay here. You can't leave. What? So where
It's
exactly?
it's very important. The sooner rather than later, I want to visit where the fight took place and where I fell and where the frost giant fell.
And they sort of, and so they send someone off. And probably about 45 minutes later or so, you would guess, none other than Augric Brighthelm herself wanders through the door. She is accompanied, you see, by no less than Markham Southwell. And as they sort of come up and stand by the side of your bed, and Augric says, "Hello. I've heard rumors that waiting in a bed is not your style. Is that fair to say?"
Yeah, a little bit. It goes a little bit against my nature, as I'm sure you'll understand. I appreciate you both turning up. I wanted to know what happened after the battle, specifically what happened to the frost giant.
And she says, "Well, after the frost giant was killed, we didn't see much of it until after we sent people down there. By the time we got out there wasn't much left. A great deal of blood and a few large feathers. From what your friends told me, there might have been a griffin involved, but there were no bodies of anything left. If I had to guess, I would say that the body was removed somehow."
Next time we're gonna incinerate it.
Would it be possible to get somebody to take me to where it happened?
"Yes," she said, "but at the moment we're doing the best that we can to try to shore up the defenses of the city near where the attack happened. That entire gate was entirely destroyed. I don't have a lot of extra men to spare, but if you wish, I can accompany you, as long as we don't take long."
If you don't mind, the fresh air will do me some good. Plus, after the walk and my muscles have warmed up a little bit, I'm willing to, Tempest holding, I'm willing to give you a bit of a hand with the repairs if possible.
And so she nods and she says, "Very well. I don't think you're going to be carrying anything, or the healers will have my head." And you can tell the healer has got her arms folded in the way that only someone who's ever worked in one of these places, who's kind of like, "Stop trying to ruin yourself after I pulled you back from certain death," type of thing. So Augric goes over and whispers to the healer and then says, "Yes, you can come with me to see the site, but we won't be able to be there for long. Also, there's a few other people I think who'd like to speak to you and the rest of your party. But again, we'll take some time to do that." By the way, you notice I should have mentioned that Augric's arm is in a sling, and she looks pretty messed up herself.
I'm assuming I'm not looking fantastic. I'm assuming I'm not completely ambulatory at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm probably walking with like
You're
a
mobile.
crutch and
right.
Yeah.
You're mobile, but it's not easy. You're walking with a noticeable limp. Everything hurts.
No, that's that's cool. I don't know where my companions are. I assume they're continuing on our quest, and that's fine. Do they have? Is there anywhere where I can store items? Because there's a large axe there.
Perhaps in their room. And she sort of gestures to. There's a room across the way, a small little antechamber that looks like. You can't see inside it, but that's where she gestures to. So if you want, you can kind of get up and sort of stumble a little bit with a little bit of help.
Yeah, I'm gonna stash the frost giant's axe and my great axe in there as well. I've got my hand axes, or rather, I've got my hand axe, so I can at least defend myself if anything happens. But I don't think I'm in too much of a physical state to be swinging my great axe around.
Inside the room, you actually see not only two cots, but you also see a large ivory horn, which looks like a Droofy's horn, which is just leaning up against the wall.
I recognize it, right?
Yeah, you do. It's leaning up against the wall.
Cool.
If you could resist this spell, you're well enough to go home. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I take it in. I get the picture of what's happened, and I'm ready to leave whenever Ogric is.
Okay. So Augrek leads you outside the eastern gate again and brings you down to approximately where the battle last happened, or where the battle happened with Drufi, the final battle, as it were. There we go. There. And brings you down to probably around here-ish. Maybe a little bit farther. Probably about, it was a ways away. Brings you to where it was, and sure enough, there is in the snow there, and the sort of the grass around it, you can see a rather large spot where clearly some giant collapsed face first and sort of lay there, and you can see not that far away from that a very large area that seems to have been flattened down as if by some very large something that settled here and then took off again. But other than that, and other than some bloodstains, which are to be found all around both areas, there is no sign of Drufi or of anything else here anymore. And
so there's literally nothing. There's no equipment. There's the bag, the knackered helmet,
correct.
That sort of thing.
That's right. None of that stuff is there. But it doesn't look like anyone was trying to disguise that it was here, because there were as I said, stamped
there's
areas and stuff.
Yeah, and pools of blood all over the place as well, presumably. Okay, cool. I want to look. Can I perceive where Drufi's body was?
Yes, for sure. You can see where the area. It's definitely smaller than the other. Whatever the other area looks to be, vaguely squarish in size and very sizable. And so the Drufi's body looks kind of vaguely humanoid shaped, because she kind of just fell on her knees and then forward. So you can kind of see where that is. Yes.
Okay, cool. Can I search? Is there a roll you need me to make? I want to search for any scrap of evidence of Drufi's body, a scrap of cloth, hair, anything.
Make an investigation check for me, please.
Okay. Investigation. Oh, great, a -1.
Yeah, only the beehive survived. Yeah, only the beehive remains.
13.
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, you don't really see anything that would apply. There definitely is. Again, there's the blood stains and things like that is evidence of that. You do find a couple of wisps of what look like maybe little pieces of a feather, a rather large feather actually. So whatever these pieces are, this was a rather large flying creature that was in the area. But of course you don't know any details about what those would be. But there's no sign of anything relating to Drufi. The other thing that's odd is that Drufi's body does not look to have been, there's no drag marks, right? There's nothing that sort of dragged Drufi somewhere. Drufi was picked up and then they just left. There's no wagon tracks, there's nothing like that. There's just the areas that I mentioned.
Okay, so immediately lifted up. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to take, can I take the feather with me? Because I'm interested to know why there's a giant feather, or seemingly a giant feather.
Sure. It's really kind of pieces of a feather, but you can certainly do that if you want. And
that's cool.
And Augrek actually gives you also a complete large brown feather, and she's like, "Here's the full one that we found nearby here."
Do you know where these came from?
And she says, "Not exactly. There were apparently rumors that some flying tower settled here, and that there were flying birds or pets or creatures. I didn't really understand it, but one of your friends, was it the dwarf, said that you had a friend who was in a flying tower and had flying pets, and it wasn't really clear to me. I thought perhaps she had gotten a little bit hurt in the fight. I couldn't blame her, really."
No, she speaks the truth. She speaks the truth. Our friend Zephyros is a cloud giant wizard, and he has several griffins as pets. I'm a little concerned that one of them may not have survived.
Well, according to my men who were watching the battle, it was a pretty significant one. They might have gotten badly hurt. I generally didn't. I was in the midst of being unconscious when that happened. I'm sure you know what that's all about. Hey, Chikanji.
Yeah. Okay. Ogrig, this might... Actually, you might be one of the only people who would understand a request like this, but would you help me build something really quickly? I want to build some grave markers.
And she sort of looks at you seriously, and she says, "Grave markers, eh? Well, for whom?"
For... I hope not for the Griffin, but just in case, I want to honor their passing. And also for Drufi. You should always honor your enemies if you defeat them.
And she says, "It seemed to me you honored her by facing her down at all cost."
Well, I came out here originally to bury her. The idea of leaving an enemy to die in the snow and the cold is heartbreaking to me. So if I can't do that, if her people have taken her body, that's understandable, but I want to leave a mark here to say that this is where she fell.
And she nods and she says, "I don't know that all of the people with us, all the people in my city would understand you wanting to honor those who did so much damage here, but if that's what you want, I'll honor your request."
If that's all right. If not, I completely understand that it's my way.
And she sort of nods, and so you guys are able to, assuming you don't get super elaborate, you guys are able to...
No, super light stick with another stick over the cross, bound by twine, that sort of thing.
You're able to do that. You're able to mark that off in both places, that and then wherever the feather, was originally found. And then that's that.
How big is the feather? On me?
It's a pretty good size. I mean, one of these feathers probably is your forearm, would be like the length of your forearm, I would say.
Okay, cool.
So it's a good size for sure. Not a normal bird, for sure.
No. I'm going to take that with me and then just head back.
Okay. And she goes with you. Anything else you want to do, or can I jump back to Greta and Selsig?
Nope, that's me. I want to thank Olgrich for her help and anyone else who is with us.
Okay. It was just her. As she's leaving, she says, she nods and she says to you, "I'm hoping you'll be able to come by later on. There's something I spoke to your dwarven companion about that I was hoping you'd be able to help our city with. I do want to thank you. You didn't have to put yourself on the line for us, and we appreciate it. The people here are sometimes difficult to get close to, but when you do get close to them, you won't find better friends in the Sword Coast." And,
I'm sure we'll be able to help.
And so she makes her way out, and then Markham Southwell, who has been sort of quiet, silent during this whole time, Markham comes over to you and says, "I also have a request for you. I'm thankful for what you've done for us, and thankful what you did for Argrek in particular. She can be frustrating, but her frustration comes from her devotion, and not from anything more sinister. I would ask that you see what you could do to be able to preserve our city, and it might give you some information you seek as well. I know that you came here in a giant's tower. You told us that my sister's town came under attack. That's why she didn't make it. She herself was killed in a giant attack. That tells me that there's more going on here, and I want to know more about it. I don't have the right to ask you to do anything more, but if you will, I could perhaps make it worth your while."
Your town is weakened and vulnerable, and it would be irresponsible of us to leave it in the state that it is now, considering we were here when it was attacked. I'll have to speak with my companions, but I'm sure there's something we can do.
Okay,
we left him unsupervised.
He nods and he says, "It's a fairly...
Chaotic good. Chaotic good.
It's a fairly simple one. I want you to patrol through Icewind Dale, and I want you to tell me if you see further evidence of giant activity. Whatever it is that's happening here is affecting you, and it's affecting us. No matter what it is, Augrek's idea is to get more of her people. I think that's what she wants to speak to you about, to help protect the city. But the truth is, no amount of outside protection is going to protect us if giants decide to show up again. We barely survived this time, and that was thanks to all of you. I would ask and see if you could find any other kind of giant activity and discover what's going on here.
There must be someone ordering them into this. Perhaps someone demanding that they fight us or pushing them to do something they wouldn't normally do. Giants are dangerous, yes, but they don't usually ally together, attack the free towns as they have us. But I tell you, if they've attacked Bryn Shander, they'll attack other places. Golden Fields, Nightstone, Tribor. It won't be long before every city will be under attack here. And how much longer will it take before what we find in the spine of the world spills out into the rest of the Sword Coast? And so, if you would do this, I'll deputize you. I'll send you out with the full responsibility and power and authority that I can invest upon you as the sheriff of Bryn Shander. Perhaps with that, and with your own good wits and knowledge, you can gather the information we would need. You don't have to answer me now, just think about it, and talk with your friends, and come speak to me when you're ready to say more.
I'll just kind of like pat him on the back a little bit as we're walking back to sort of convey. I understand what he's saying. I obviously can't give an answer now, but I understand what he's saying.
Okay.
They're going behind our back again.
Okay. Meanwhile, Greta and Selsig, you have this sudden sensation of someone going behind your back, but you don't know that. I just completely.
Make a perception check.
Yeah, it's not like he goes behind your back to
something.
steal things. So, okay, so you, Greta and Selsig, are looking around, have been looking around through the market districts and looking around the alleyways, and you've been doing so now for about an hour or so without result, and frankly, started to get a little frustrating. You found very little other than shut doors and closed windows and silent streets. And in the contrast with the inside of the Honest Thief, much of what you see here is frankly rather depressing. Their market was spared much of the worst of the attack, but there were a few boulders that rained down and hit some areas of the market, and everywhere else just seems like, you know, walking around a graveyard, something that neither one of you finds particularly exciting and interesting and all that kind of thing. It's, if anything, sort of troubling and disturbing to you. But finally, you end up being rewarded for your diligence. As you are passing by one of the alleyways, you hear coming from inside it a...
I knew it.
coming from inside it.
Let's go.
Away!
Okay. This is an alleyway that you passed by. And as you go down it, you can hear this sort of sound of getting a little bit louder as you go down the alleyway. The alley is very dark, by the way. So dark that you there's actually rooftops that are sort of covering overhead, so there's not any kind of light filtering down.
Yeah, well, I make light.
Okay, that's my job.
It's okay. I make light.
Okay.
We don't. That I've got a light cantrip, and so I don't know, put it on my hand or something.
Okay.
I have one of my dancing lights right on my head, like it's balancing there.
Okay, so you guys have lights on, and that allows you to go to the edge of the alleyway. And at first, the sound that you hear, which is this, seems to be coming from a pile of clothes. At first, you just see this sort of shivering pile of clothes at the edge of the alleyway.
Is it I hear like a moaning sound coming from a pile of clothes in a dark alleyway.
Yes, that's exactly right. You also hear an incredibly loud typing.
Sorry. Sorry.
That's what you hear. As you come close to it, the typing gets louder and louder.
I would like to listen and have a look before like really approaching it, because I don't want to disturb like a couple or something.
Okay, make a perception check for me, please.
There we go.
Yeah, not very difficult. It is definitely coming from underneath the pile of clothes, and it sounds like perhaps one person. It sounds human-made, and it's someone who's kind of like like shivering or something like that. It sounds like, you know.
That's not an answer to my question.
Okay, ask the question again then. Sorry.
I want to make sure that I'm not disturbing people.
No, it's one person.
This is not a moaning like a,
Okay, yeah, okay, good. I
Barry
just want
White.
to be sure.
My every alleyway.
Get your mind out the gutter, Greta.
That's what I'm talking about now, baby. No, there's none of the.
It's not hobo humping, okay?
Yeah, right.
I'm
There is-
reasonably
there is
certain
not,
it's not going to be hobo humping.
This is not sort of the other way you would keep yourself occupied during a cold night. No, it's not that. It's just something else going on.
Okay, in that case, I approach the pile of clothes making moaning sounds.
Gotcha. Okay. And as you get closer, you hear what sounds like kind of a higher pitched, type of thing. That's below the covers. You'd have to, however, pull back the covers to hear or see.
I do that. I pull back the covers to see, and
You
maybe
find
not hear.
2 people. No, I'm just kidding. You don't find that.
I knew it!
Yeah, I know.
I knew it!
You
You
son of a-
already did
you
that to
did
me
this
once.
No, I didn't. What?
Yes.
Okay. So no, that was not done to you. Now all of a sudden I'm like, let's find out more about this detail.
Now
and forget
roll for
about the D&D
Constitution.
session. Exactly. Roll a dexterity save. No, this is
Oh.
this is none of the above. This is none of the above. In fact, what you see here is
Hello. Have you heard about Pholtos?
not interested. I'll just leave this brochure then. No, but you don't find that. In fact, what you find is a shivering, very dirty, rag-wearing, sandy-haired young boy. Probably maybe 11, 12, who seems to be shivering from cold. And it's no wonder when you look, the clothes that he has are very thin. There's not a lot of, what clothes he did have are sort of threadbare at this point. He has no shoes on his feet. And these covers that he's got are an attempt to presumably keep him warm, and it's not doing so successfully.
Okay. Celtic, do you still have your clothes? Your cloak?
I do. Yeah. Somewhere. I've balled up cloak. There we go.
Yeah. Can I have it, please?
Yeah, cool.
So-
Hand it over.
I like put the cloak around the child,
Okay.
I pull out a ration and give that to Greta as well.
Okay.
and then I was like, Sirac?
He looks up. He's like, you know my name?
Yeah. Let's leave the alleyway. I try to pull the cloak around him and maybe wrap him a little bit warm.
And he sort of pulls back a little bit. He's like, no, where are you taking me? I don't have any money. I don't have any money if you want to take things. I don't have anything.
I offer him the ration. Hey, you look like you haven't eaten in ages. Have this.
And he sort of takes it and he says, it's not poisoned, is it?
I'll try some to prove it's not poisoned, and I'll break off a little bit and eat it in front of him.
Okay.
I'm a cleric of Pholtos. I follow the path of the light. You can trust me.
Okay. And he sort of nods and he says, all right. I guess there's nothing to lose anyway. And he more inhales, I would say, than eats the food that you gave him. And accepts gratefully your the warm clothing that you put around him. And he says, thank you. I don't know why you're helping me, but thank you.
Because helping is the good thing to do.
And he sort of looks and he says, I like to believe that. My father always taught me that. I don't think it was
I've been
always
where
true.
you are. I wouldn't wish that on people.
Let's take him back. I look at Celtic. Let's take him back to the House of Healing. Maybe they can provide him with clothes or something.
I agree.
Okay. So
you're gonna bring him back?
I'll tell him we would like to take you to the House of Healing. We have friends there, and maybe they can help you.
And he says, maybe, but I can only go if you promise to help me, or help my father. I mean,
You will need to tell us what this is about. I can't promise help without knowing what it's about.
but you have to help him. He's a good man. It wasn't his fault. None of what happened was his fault. None of none of any of this that happened was his fault. And he kind of looks around at some of the devastation as you guys are walking by, and he says, none of this was really his fault.
I believe you, but you still need to tell us the whole story if you can.
Well, and so he begins to tell you this story on his way back to the House of Healing, and then when he actually enters the House of Healing, where you find, by the way, that Urash is not there at the moment. He seems to be not present.
Okay.
And
How'd you steal an Half-Orc?
so you get him settled in. You get him settled in the bed. You talk to one of the healers about it, and then with his legs drawn up and his arms around his legs, kind of holding them there, looking very young boy-like, he begins to tell his story, and he says, "My father's name is Artis Simber. He was a lord, a noble family, and he has connections. Well, had them. I hope he still has them. To the Roaring Horns. It's a family in Waterdeep. They have a lot of people that look up to them, and they have a lot of money. But my father, well, we hadn't been able to spend any time in those homes anymore. My mother passed away when I was very little, you see, and I used to go with my father from place to place. He would sell and buy things. He was a merchant of a kind, but he always used to say that he was a trader, a person who gave one thing to another and took something back from them in exchange. Much more than a merchant, he used to say. So, we used to go from town to town. He taught me everything he knew. It was a good life. And then, well, probably about 6 months ago, I guess, things started to change. There was someone who came to him, a man, in the deep of night. My father was never the same afterwards. He became agitated. He wouldn't stay still in one place for any one time. We left where we were, traveled from Golden Fields up to Tribor, from Tribor into Waterdeep, from Waterdeep away again, finally up here again to Bryn Shander. And finally, he told me about this thing that he had. It was a ring of winter, he said. This ring of winter, this powerful heirloom. He said, son, once we sell this, we'll make all the money we ever need. We'll never have to travel again. We'll get a nice house. We'll just be able to stay in one place. I never really cared about where we stayed. I just cared about my father. Anyway, he said that I should never tell anyone and that I should keep it to myself because there were some very powerful people that would want it. And then a few days ago, I heard these rumors. The attacks began. There were boulders, rocks that fell on the city. And there were huge creatures, giants, screaming and yelling. And then, just some hours ago, the person I heard was screaming and yelling for my father. When she yelled that she wanted the Ring of Winter, I knew that she had found him. They were trying to get my father, and they were trying to get the ring. When he heard that they were screaming for him and yelling for him, I knew I had to find him, but 2 days before he had left, he had told me that he was going to get rid of this thing for once and for all. It was after the first of the attacks. He left, and I haven't seen him since. So when they started the attack, I didn't know what to do. The second attack, this is a couple of days ago. I went everywhere. I went to Devessa Shane, the speaker. I went to the sheriff. I went to Ogric Brighthelm, but none of them listened to me. None of them said they had any time. I even went to the barkeeper in The Honest Thief, but he just laughed at me. Finally, I came out here. When the last attack happened some hours ago, I buried myself under the deepest pile of clothes I could find. I figured maybe if I waited long enough, they'd either go away, or I would, permanently. I don't know where anyone is now, except me, and all of you. But my father has got that ring, and if we could only find him, maybe he would have more answers.
Okay.
And he falls silent. Hey, Chrono Wolf, we'll be wrapping up in just a second here.
So just to get this right, 2 days ago, your father left you behind without any money, without any proper clothes in the deep of the winter, and without any help.
We never really
Is that-
had much anyway. Over the last couple of weeks, we haven't had much money. He just kept saying this ring would be the ticket that we needed to get out of this place and to be in a place comfortably.
Do you
Heard
know
that before.
who you wanted to tell, what you wanted to sell the ring to?
No, but I know where he would have gone. The only place that he could really have made the money that he needed was the place that was most dangerous to him, Waterdeep. I bet he went back to find that family, the Roaring Horns. They could have found out a way to buy the ring from him, or at least show him where he could. Waterdeep's a huge city. Have you ever been there?
No.
It's big and bustling, and there's so many more people than in Bryn Shander. It's like being inside The Honest Thief, but everywhere.
Okay. What does this Ring of Winter look like?
Oh, it's all blue, and it has, well, a line down the side of writing. I don't really know what it says, but it's traced all around the outside of the band.
And your father said he wanted to get rid of it.
Yes. In fact, he sort of seemed obsessed with it. He didn't want to talk about anything else.
He didn't mention a volcano or something, right?
A volcano? No.
No, just okay.
No. And he didn't mention eagles either. And then he looks at you and he's like, "But halflings, though. That sounds familiar." No, I'm just kidding. I made that part up.
I feel compelled to find this ring for some reason.
And
Okay.
and he says, I know I can't ask you to do anything. I don't have any way to pay you or any way to get money from anything, but, well, those giants attacked here. And if you want to know why they attacked, well, maybe finding the ring would help you find out about them. That would be worth something, right?
I look over to Celtic, to give him like a look, if he has any more questions, and if Celtic does not react, I will turn back to.
Do you have any idea at all where we could start looking for your father? Did he say anything at all to help us maybe track him down?
Yeah.
Waterdeep.
You can go to Waterdeep.
Waterdeep,
If
yeah.
you go to Waterdeep, I think you might be able to find him there. And with that, you hear someone saying, "Waterdeep." So someone wants to go there, do they? To find out about giants. Now that's a conversation we've just been having. And turning around, you look to see the somewhat better but still quite injured Urash standing next to Augrek Brighthelm. She has a hand on his arm, and she says, "As I've just been discussing with him, I think we have a way for mutual benefit. To find a ring, to find a giant, and to find where you need to go. Maybe we can work together, you and I." And with that, I think we will wrap up and put a little bow on this session today, which went really fast this time. That's what happens when you're having fun, I guess.
Yeah, flew by.
But
It
that
did,
was
it went really quickly.
that was good times. But it is a little bit past the top of the hour, and that means that we're going to have to rise up on out of here. Good work, guys. We got a lot of information down. You have a few, quote, side quests. You got some leads now. You got some leads that you can do. And, of course, you got other stuff that you can try to, other people that you need to talk to inside the city that asked to talk to you. So, Chad, I hope you enjoyed this today. We will be doing this again, of course. We try to do these sessions once a month, occasionally sneak in a second session if we possibly can. But, of course, since all of my players are European, I have to do that while still figuring out a way for them to not be, unconscious and asleep, as would normally be the case. I will start this time working back the other direction. I'll start with Mike, and then I'll work upwards. Mike, where will all the fine people see you next?
Well, I'm going to be on GOG.com's channel to play and hopefully complete Darkfall 3 Lost Souls in my final regular stream tomorrow at 6 p.m. BST.
Don't miss it.
After that point, you'll find me on this channel on this D&D campaign, and also on Arvin Elron's channel. Check him out, twitch.tv/Arvin Elron, on his Infinity and Beyond stream. Both of which I thoroughly enjoy doing. Other than that, you can always catch me at YouTube, youtube.com/official Sarge, official SAAJ. That's it.
Mike is going to be, as he says, Mike is stopping with the streaming, but he will not be stopping video production, and he will be continuing to play D&D with us here and over at Infinity Beyond, where he plays a Warforged, which is a really interesting character as well. And they have a big cliffhanger they just had over there that they've got to deal with over in that
Yeah, a
campaign.
little bit.
But good times, and of course Mike also did the intro-outro video that you guys saw, which I won't be able to play all of today again, but you guys can watch the VOD of this to kind of see it. Great job on that, Mike. Thank you so much for doing it, and great work today. Moving right along, we have, of course, Darksaber, who was great as Cell Sigmar, as per usual. Saber, where will the fine people see you next, sir?
Well, you can always catch me on twitch.tv/Darksaber2K, where I play a whole bunch of stuff. I just started playing a mod for Crusader Kings 2, which puts the World of Darkness into it, like Vampire the Masquerade, werewolves, all that cool stuff, which is very, very interesting. And tomorrow I will be streaming the release stream for Slime Rancher, which is left in dev here on GOG. So I will be picking that up and herding all those level 1 monsters you kill in RPGs.
Awesome. That's going to be fun. I look forward to seeing some of that cool stuff. Good stuff, man, as always. And last but certainly not least, of course, we have Pyron Jade. And Pyron, great job today as well. A lot of good, fun role playing and some good. I was enjoying the first section of this where you're just like, I'm coming, like running down the hill, to try to heal him. Where will the fine people see you next, Pyron?
They're going to see me next on this channel on Thursday. And if everything's going to be right, I'm going to stream a release stream on there. So, yeah. That's going to be at 9 p.m. CST, which is 3 p.m. EDT, 12 p.m. PDT, I think.
More numbers, more letters, please.
Other DDTs, something DDT,
TCPIP,
ABC.
So, and if the release stream does not happen, I think I'm going to try another game of Nomoria, because I know I can do this. I know I can lead a gnome kingdom without everyone being obliterated before summer. I know I can do this.
I know I can do it. That's awesome. Well, you guys should definitely check out Pyron Jade. I always enjoy her streams. Pyron is also has very good taste in games as a also Ultima Underworld and Legend of Grimrock lover like me. So she's got good taste in games as well. Thank you, Pyron. Great job. Chat, can we get some love for my wonderful players? They did a great job today, as always. And we will check out all of you guys a few weeks from now for our next session of this. So
Indeed.
Thank you to Pyron, to Saber, and to Screaming Joypad. Thanks, everybody.
Always a pleasure.
Bye, everybody.
All right.
45.
45!
All right, that's going to do it for them, and it's going to do it also. Wait a second. Where are we? There we go. That's also going to do it for me. I'm going to rise up on out of here because we do have to exit stage right and allow our good friend Chrono Wolf, who was responsible for the music on the intro that I did on the INB video a couple days ago. He did a great job on that, and so I'm going to get on out of here so he can play, I believe, modded Fallout 3 as he continues that series, so that will be a lot of fun that you guys should stick around for. I will be back at you guys on my own channel on Friday, and I do want to announce that if anyone is interested in the Fighting Fantasy Gamebook series, I do want to mention that I am going to be on my own channel. There is a new game called Fighting Fantasy Legends, which just came out from Nomad Games. Nomad are the ones that did the Talisman board game online, the digital board game stuff for Talisman, and they have just done a new game called Fighting Fantasy Legends, and I'm going to be interviewing the lead designer of that game on Friday, it looks like. So we're going to be talking about that. Thank you for the follow on my channel. I appreciate it, Igwingari. So please make sure to mark your calendars if you're interested in checking that out. That's going to be Friday night, probably about 9 p.m. Eastern, I believe, is when we're looking at. So that's going to be happening on Friday, and then more D&D and stuff like that to come. I haven't worked out my schedule because we're just doing that. I go through all the Fighting Fantasy books, Reprehensible Frag. Yeah, in fact, I do a bunch of them on my stream with a person live illustrating them, actually. So I'm a big fan of those as well. So if you like what you saw here and you want more D&D, more role-playing games, more video role-playing games, I do quite a bunch of that, and quite a bit of writing because I'm an author. All that stuff happens over on my my channel as well. Please check that out. As for me on this stream, I'll be back at you guys a week from today, right back here with my continued playthrough of Torment Tides of Numenera. But now I'm going to give way to Matt and get on out of here. Thank you all so much for being here. You guys are great, and thank you so much for enjoying D&D. I hope you did. Thank you for being here while we played it, and I'll catch all you people on my channel by Friday, but otherwise I'll see you all here next week for episode 89 next week of Pen and Pixels. Until then, thanks everybody. Have a good one, and I'll catch you all soon. Have a good night. Gets more cold this time of year. The sun is hidden far from here. I wonder how I might atone. It's been a year since I left home. The wind is blowing faster now. I'm searching though I don't know